Hallelujah. Let Lord Jesus Christ shine forth. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us. Welcome to another live stream with DCCI Ministries. And tonight we have the privilege of having Adam Seeker. Peace of Christ be with you, brother.
Peace of Christ be with you and everyone in the live stream. Thank you so very much, sister. This is part two of our series. I like it.
Why would you like it? It's all about like jihad.
Yeah, that's why I like it. The best,
Can I get, let me
Allah
just
says in the Quran, the best people are the ones who die in the cause of Allah while fighting. You
well,
know,
nothing wrong with that if Allah is bloodthirsty. If Allah likes dead people, we can't do much about it.
yeah, but that's the only way to heaven, to the absolute, uh, what do you call it? Salvation message in Islam is that you have to die in jihad. Only then you will have 72 versions, absolute. You will get the uh, Jannatul Firdaus, which is the top level heaven, where Allah is going to serve you the wine by His own hands. So, don't you suppose, aren't you supposed to do what will for sure short take you to heaven?
I love the way like Allah with he's like huge. He's serving the wines with his hands. Imagine the size of his hands, and then wines are coming to the people. I was someone sent me a clip. I haven't watched it yet, but it's titled as "When I Die as a Martyr, My Wife Becomes the Queen of the 72 Virgins." So
This is so good, right? Queen of the 72 virgins. You know what we call it? We call it the Madam of the Brothel. That's what we call it in this world. So she'll
it's
become the madam of the brothel of Allah.
it's just very much messed up. But anyway, that's normal for the teachings of Islam. So as you picked up, we are going to continue with the jihad for the religion of peace. Of course, you all know jihad has many different definitions, and I guess we are talking about the jihad, which is eternal struggle of knowledge and the truth and understanding.
Absolutely, exactly the way it is mentioned in the Quran and in
Yep.
the Hadith. That's the jihad we are talking about. We have been talking about this, that jihad, but where is the knowledge in this jihad? We did a whole part one, but none of
You
the
just
Quranic
told me
verses.
about the knowledge. You just told me about the knowledge. Knowledge is like you go to paradise and then you get served by wines with Allah's own hand. All that's the knowledge.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
I just picked up something. Probably we disagree with one another. I don't see uh, martyrdom or jihad in Islam as a salvation. I see, because I don't think Islam offers anything, something called salvation. Islam offers how to be successful, have success, like salvation versus success. I just picked up. We probably disagree on terms on that, but let's not have in-house debates here.
No, no,
Just make
I
sure
agree
the
with
world
you.
knows we disagree on that and then not talk about it.
No, no, I don't disagree with you on that one. I fully agree with you.
Oh,
I just tried to use a
that's not
sentence
good
which
then.
the common Christians might understand. So, there was a pause over there where I was trying to figure out a word to put there. And I was thinking because in Urdu we have multiple words. In English, usually people do not realize what we are saying. So thanks for the explanation. I fully agree with you.
Oh, that's not good. I'll find something we probably disagree very soon. Um,
Alhamdulillah.
anyway, thank you very much, everyone who is in the live stream, in the chat, chit chatting already. It's good to see you here. So, since we are talking about jihad, I'll kind of let Adam to fill us what we discussed last week for those of you who didn't watch it. Summarize for us. But if you've got any questions on the topic which we are discussing, jihad, please put @ in front of DCCI Ministries. That should get my attention, and then we will deal with your questions, making sure that you don't have this. You don't do practice of jihad for not getting answer for your questions. We want to make sure that you are satisfied with your jihad.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
And
Brother, we spent approximately 2.5 hours last week uh, until early Thursday morning. Talk about jihad. Would you be able to kind of just summarize for us what are the few things we can take away if most of people wouldn't watch 2.5 hour video? Uh, how can we kind of
Yes,
cut them out?
yes. Let me start by the summarization of the 2.5 hour into 5 minutes. But before I go into that, guys, thank you so very much for being here. And I would request you humbly to please like and share the video. It won't cost you a penny, but it will definitely cost you a few seconds. So I would
You are
request you to
asking,
please.
you are asking people to do love jihad to like of the YouTube part, correct?
Exactly. And do the share jihad as well, so that you could share it with everyone in your Facebook, in your WhatsApp, in all of the social media platforms that you can share it. So let the people come in and learn and understand, because obviously we can spend time, our 2.5 hour today, and 100 people might be listening, and we can spend the same 2.5 hour, and then 500 people are listening. So make this time more productive by bringing more and more people. So please, the jihad is in your hands. Please do that. Let's summarize. All right. God is good. Let's summarize. So last week we went into different prerequisites of jihad, because jihad was apparently not revealed till the hijrah. So there was like approximately 13 years of life of Muhammad when jihad wasn't even there, supposedly. And I'm saying supposedly, quotes and quotes. Now, for that, we had to study the details of jihad from the Sunnah, how Muhammad understood it, and how the Sahaba understood it. I gave you Bilahul Maram 11:11, and I gave you Sahih Muslim 1731a, which is the book of jihad. You know, there is a book of jihad in Sahih Muslim, there's a book of jihad in Sahih Bukhari, there's a book of jihad in all of these siyasita. And then again, people say there is no fighting. But if you read all of these books, you'll see jihad has always been written as fighting, never as the fighting of the heart or the fighting of the Satan. It's always fighting with the other non believers. And then you have the killing verses of Quran chapter number 6, verse number 151, Quran chapter number 17, verse number 33, and Quran chapter number 25, verse number 68. These three verses also have accept in them. So accept what is rightfully the one that you can rightfully kill. What are the people that you can rightfully kill? You go to Sahih Bukhari 6, 8, 7, 8, or you can go to chapter number 2, verse number 216 and 839. These two verses, the Islamic scholars are actually having some disagreement that the which verse is actually the first verse of jihad. And you will be amazed to see that none of these verses has the word jihad in it. Then how come the verse chapter 2, verse number 216 and chapter 8, verse number 39 are in the Muslim scholars' disagreement of which verse is the first verse of jihad? Why? Because early Islamic scholars, for the first 6, 700, 800 years of Islam, jihad was predominantly taken as fighting in the cause of Allah with the non believers. That's the reality of it. And then we talked about the terror. Terror, who's going to spread the terror? Allah spreads the terror in the Jannah, chapter number 21, verse number 98 to 103. Or you have to spread terror in this world, chapter number 21, verse number 98, verses chapter 3, verse number 151, 152, 8, chapter 8, verse 12, chapter 8, verse 60, chapter 33, verse number 26 and 27, chapter 59, verse number 2, chapter 8, verse number 17, and Quran chapter 59, verse number 13, where Muslims are supposed to be the most terrorizing people in the world, as the non-Muslim have more terror for the Muslims than to the God themselves. That's where we kind of ended in a way, and there were a lot of explanation and the tafsir that I've shown you in the last live stream. I gave you a 5 minutes quick read up. If you have not watched it, or if you liked this summary, please go and watch the last live stream. Let's go in today.
Okay,
When
so
we go in today, yes.
let me just put it together so I understand. So, in summary, we looked at the character of God, who is identified as terrorist with his angels, and then we saw actually people, individuals who identify themselves as Muslims who follow such a God, have to follow his orders. Therefore, terrorism act steps into the life of Muslims to fulfill the will of Allah.
Exactly. And because now that you changed my topic to there, so let me bring up one other hadith. And you're more than welcome. You're doing the right job here because I'm loving this. When you bring up a topic, sometimes it just hits right on the spot. That's Sunan Nasai 432. And let me share it. Please bring it on the screen. And it says, the Messenger of Allah said, I have been given 5 things that were not given to anyone before me. I have been supported with fear being struck. Okay, wrong translation. Hold on. Let me bring another one. Wrong translation. Bukhari 438. Let's bring that one. They are changing the translation sunnah.com very fast. I don't know why. Let's go to English
Actually,
instead of Urdu.
it does say in their website that they do change the translations as they see how it is applicable as that time changes.
I'll show you why it is not. Now, Allah made me victorious by awe. What do you mean by awe? It's like you see something and you'll say awe. What is awe? It's not awe. The Arabic word here is bara'ub. You know what bara'ub means? I'll show it to you from the Quran, but let me see where they have not changed it. So let me go to Bukhari 335. Maybe they have not changed it here. Bara'ub, it's bara'ub. They cannot say awe. So here it is awe again. Let me go to Muslim. Let's see if Sahih Muslim, they haven't changed it. This is the this is the utmost stupidity in the history of stupidity is that they are changing the meanings of the words of Arabic in a split second. So you'll see awe, and then you see fear, and
But
then you see
it can't
terror. Finally!
it can't be their fault if the Arabic is like miracle language and then no one knows what it means, so they're just trying. And when you say terror, it causes stress to people, so they just like, wow, let's use all.
Oh, it's like oh, the baby say oh. So the Allah Messenger has been given oh no, Allah Messenger has been given terror. So the main messenger of Allah, which is supposed to be the Rahmatal lil Alameen, the mercy for the worlds in plural, has been given Nusrat Birrob, helped by terror. So Allah is spreading terror. That's what we discussed last time. Let me give you one of the verse over here. And this, check this out. This verse of the Quran, they can't change the verse of the Quran, right? Kalubihim fi kalubihim ar You see, even if the mouse over here is saying terror, how are they changing the same word, the same hadith with 3 different words in the hadith? So check this out. Same word, same hadith here, it is terror. Okay. Same hadith here, it is awe. Check this out. Nusrat bir Same words, same hadith. And then they change it to awe. And then you go back, it's same awe, Nusrat bir same awe. And then go to Nisai, being struck into, fear being struck into. Come on, it's the same thing, Nusrat bir So imagine you have seen 5 different ahadith, and you have seen 3 different translations. So, sister, they are intentionally deceiving the audience. Intentionally. I'm sorry, here I disagree. The first argument that you said, I disagree over here. Finally, we disagree on something. It's intentional deception.
But without deceptions, Islam dies, so you can't do much about it. But it is.
I think our sister has a bad internet connection at this moment. I can't hear her. Let's see if she comes back. But so Allah has given Muhammad a special help,
There
which
is
is the
such.
help of terror. Thank you, sister. You're back. Please say. You were on mute earlier. You got an internet disconnection. You have to repeat whatever you said.
Uh, I was simply saying, like, without deception, Islam dies. So they are dependent. They depend on lies to make Islam look good, and they are very much aware now. these sources were accessible to English speaking world, and now people are using these sources. So what is the next best thing to do? You just express that Arabic is miracle language of miracles. We don't know what the word means. Therefore, let me introduce new vocabulary. Let me change the definition of the word. Let me kind of, what is it? Let me kind of yeah, deceive people,
Absolutely, because
and
Allah
no
is the
one is
best of
gonna
all
check it.
deceivers.
Like when you pick up the translation and then speak to a Muslim, and then you have to spend just ages to kind of make an argument. Oh, see, this word is being translated differently, because in the minds of Muslims, Islam is very honest religion. It is the religion of the truth. It is the religion of the truth. Therefore, they will never play with the words. Therefore, they will never deceive. You are the one who is trying to deceive Muslims. That's how it comes across. Simply, they are playing with the words, like just wrong, dishonesty.
One of the statement of Osama Dagdog that I loved a lot is that Muslims might not go to hell because they follow this false fake prophet Muhammad, because probably they do not know whether it is a fake prophet or not. But they will definitely go to hell for wrongfully translating the Arabic into English, because now they are deceivers. Now they are deceivers, and hence they are definitely going to go to hell, because Revelation 22:10 says, I think if I'm not mistaken, liars go to hell. Alhamdulillah. All right,
So,
so
so you
yes,
are
sorry.
saying, that while Allah is expressing Himself in the Quran clearly, he chooses the word he wanted to use to express himself. If he chooses terror, then you would expect Muslims to be faithful to what Allah said and then translate it in that way. Yet Muslims are simply, they don't trust their God. They don't want the world to know what their God is saying. So therefore, they are simply using different words to make sure that everyone knows Allah is not a good communicator. That Allah needs Muslim scholars or experts or missionaries to simply tell the world what Allah meant when He said terror. Apparently, no, it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
not very good.
So that's where the whole idea comes into play, that Muhammad is a terrorist to begin with, and he was made a terrorist by Allah. Allah helped him to be a terrorist. Imagine, sister, if something like this was in Bible, where Christ would say, God forbid, my father helped me by terror, and I have been given the words which are concise and comprehensive. How do you think people will react to that?
Well, not only people react to that, we will be seeing on BBC, on Sky News, on American channels, on every media, simply just like day after, not even day after day, second after second, that's what they will be focusing on to discredit anything, okay? It is like good tool for them. But when it is Allah, well, just keep the silent.
Absolutely. One of the very important words before we go into this is this one, and I think I have played that last time as well. It's Quran chapter number 2, verse number 216. We'll go and read 217 later because it's about Badr, but let's read 216. Battle has been enjoyed upon you while it is hateful to you, but perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows while you know not. This is one of the first verse of the battle, because that's where Muhammad started to attack the caravans. If you look at it, sister, the problem is Muhammad, Badr was not the first battle, if you look at it. If you look at the life of Muhammad by Ibn Ishaq or Ibn Kasir or History of At-Tabari, you will see that there were 5 attacks on caravans that Muhammad did, which caused the people of Makkah to attack Muhammad, and that is called Badr. So you will see here that it was the first raid on Wadan, the valley of Wadan. The second raid was led by Hamza at the raid of the coast, then raid of Bawat, then raid on Ushaira, then raid of Harar, then the raid of Safwan. And Safwan raid is the one where the first arrow was released. And in Ibn Kasir, in English, you don't have that. I tried to search in English. You guys do not have that. They did not translate it fully. In Ibn Kasir, in Arabic and in Urdu, it says this was the first arrow that was shot by the Muslims towards the non Muslims, and they killed a few people, and then they captured the women and they captured the men, and then they had these so many people. And that's one of the reference where, you know what, sister, Allah says it is not befitting for the prophet to do what? Not befitting for the prophet to have captures of war until he has done massacre in the land. What do you think about that, sister?
It just helps me to love Allah so much. I can't even put in the words. So, murder everyone, murder every man. You can only be rewarded after you murder every man. You can take their wives, you can take their money, but you can't have it if you leave 2 men alive, if you leave 5 men alive, even if you leave 1 man alive. You've got to get rid of them all once for all so that you can take their woman, you can take their money.
Exactly. But once again, not just take it easily. It is not befitting for a prophet to have the capture of war until he inflicts a massacre,
Yep.
massacre,
You
blood
commit
rage
you commit
in the land.
genocide for you to get the rewards. Without genocide, you cannot get rewards. Very, like, think about the applications of that. Very disturbing. And that is the ideology in 21st century circulating all around the world.
Absolutely, sister. Absolutely. Now, one more verse that I'm going to give you, and we'll go into jihad verse. Why this one verse is very important. This is Quran chapter number 1, verse number 5 to 7. You know, when a Muslim, as a normal Muslim who offers just the Farad prayer, the compulsory 5 prayers, no Sunnah, no Nawafil, he recites Surah Fatiha 17 times in a day, 2 times in Fajr, four times in Zohar, 4 times in Asr, 3 times in Maghrib, and 4 times in Isha, and then 3 witr. 17 times bare minimum he offers. Forget the Sunnah Moqda, and the Sunnah and the Nawafil. And it says, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. It is you who we worship and you we seek help for. اهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ. Guide us to the straight path. صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. Who are the people whom are maghdub and who are the people who are dalin? It's a very, very important verse. Very, very important verse. Christians are maghdub because they have taken the anger of Allah. And dalin are the ones who are Jews. So basically, in other words, Muslims have an inbuilt hatred for the Jews and the Christians if they offer the prayer only, because these two people, Makhdub and Dalin, are the ones who are being cursed by Allah here, as you can see, whom you have bestowed favor, not of those who you have Makhdub earned the wrath of yours, who on upon whom you have put your wrath on. What do you say, earn your wrath? Like, that's a very, sugar coated translation. Who has earned your wrath? No, no, no. who who were given wrath of yours. And if you see the tafsir, you'll see that these are the two people which are considered to be Yahud or Nasara. These are the Jews and the Christians. This is a very common, most of the scholars agree upon it, that it should be Yahud or Nasara. The, the other statement is that these are all the non-Muslims. All right. But the consensus, most consensus of the scholars are these are the Jews and the Christians. This is 17 times a Muslim who only offers the Farad prayer is saying to the Jews and Christians, or about the Jews and the Christians. It is in their Quran.
So,
Quran inherently does polemics against everyone else, and especially against Christians. Yes, sister.
the ones who gone astray are Christians, and the ones who earn the anger are the Jews. And from very early age, this is one of the surah Muslims like memorize the moment, even the new someone who just become a Muslim. Okay, this is the very first thing, one of the very first thing after Surah Nas. They memorize because they have to recite it in their prayers. Child at age 5 learns to have hate towards Jews and Christians. A new convert to Islam start having the seeds of hate in his heart the moment he starts to memorize Surah 1. Hate towards Jews, hate towards Christians. Why? Because Allah orders so. Jews earned his anger, Christians choose to go astray, apparently. That's the Muslim interpretation. Such a disturbing reality to know. Every Muslim who does their prayer, even if they do one, like ideally they pray, like they must pray 5 times, but some of them do only pray once a week. In that prayer, this is the surah, they just express their love towards non-Muslims, to the Christians and the Jews. Such an honor to be remembered in the prayers of Muslims every day. Such an honor.
Absolutely, sister. Absolutely. And then people come in and say, in the West, they come in and say to me, "Hey, we are very nice people. We don't do jihad. You're not supposed to talk to us about jihad. We don't do jihad." And I was like, "Brother, I'm sorry. That's what your Quran says. Quran chapter 47, verse number 35. Very important verse. Do not weaken and call for peace while you are superior, and Allah is with you and will never deprive you of your deeds." So when you are not in superior, when you are not in numbers, you are not big in numbers, then you are going to go for peace, 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 peace. But if you have superior numbers, then you cannot be weakened and call for peace, because then Allah is with you. So Allah is not with you when you are less in number. Allah is with you when you are greater in number. So as long as Islam is in your country and it is under 10%, they are the utmost peaceful people in the history of peaceful people. You will never have any issue with them. They'll be the most peaceful people. They'll respect you. They'll treat you with nice and kinderness. For example, chapter number 8, verse number 61. And if they incline to peace, then incline to it and rely upon Allah. Indeed, it is you who is hearing and knowing. They are very peaceful. As soon as they become more in number, they will come in and they start fighting with you one way or another. And that I have explained last time. By the way, this verse, chapter number 8, verse number 61, is an abrogated verse if you look at it. Here, they have not translated everything. So you'll see abrogated, uh, abrogation in only in Jalalain, but the Ibn Kasir does not mention that here. So that why you do not have all the translations of the tafsirs. So you have to go to either an English, Arabic, or in Urdu, where most of the translations are there. So if you look at it, you'll see that either chapter number 9 verse number 5 has abrogated it, or 936 has abrogated it, or Surah Muhammad chapter number 47 verse number 35 has abrogated it. And I have already shown Surah Muhammad chapter number 47 verse number 35. There you go again. If you are superior in number, do not go for peace. So the verses of peace in Islam are abrogated by multiple verses according to multiple scholars of Islam, not just one. But the problem is that QuranX.com does not have the full translation of Tafsir Ibn Kasir, let alone Tafsir Qurtubi. You guys are living in ignorance, and that is why Bible says, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge." We have to attain knowledge, we have to gain knowledge to fight our enemies, otherwise we will be destroyed. So learn and understand and get to know the truth about jihad, sister.
Just a kind of I'm sure people already picked up the practical application of this. In France, number of Muslims are pretty high now. What are they doing? They're not settling for peace. In England, it seems, even though number of Muslims are not high, yet individuals who are in the power, as well as this vogue is kind of coming alongside of Islam and Muslims, you see what they are doing. They are not coming for peace. They are coming after you. Once they get the numbers, they come after you. Even other day, Yasir Kadi was talking about it, like, you've got the numbers, just get on with it. You've got the numbers, just get on with it. Put things in the law. Oh, if people don't want to put things in the law, just make sure you take the law on your hands and then get on with it. Very, like, applications of this verse is right now in Europe, and already affects is upon non-Muslims. And we are still deep sleeping and snoring.
No, I think the people of UK are not sleeping. They are in coma, sister.
They are
They're
in the
coma.
what is that thing? Life machine. They are in the
Yeah,
life
they're
machine.
they're in coma. Like I don't know how many bombs needs to be blasted on their right and left side so that they could wake up, because at the end of the day, they are in coma. If they can't even see it now, I'm amazed when they will wake up. Because like you can wake a person up if he's sleeping. You can't wake a person up if he's in a coma.
It's
So
it's too late now. I don't think there is wake up moment. We moved that, we kind of brain that. Yeah, thank you, David. Um, yeah, we kind of moved on from wake up stage. We've done. It's done. It's done. Like this, like the power Muslims have. Like now, our justice secretary is Muslim. Imagine like the danger of that. People in the
absolutely.
House of Parliament simply stood up for terrorists in Gaza, and day after day they are speaking up, speaking for terrorists. And we in Britain now, we are calling evil good,
Mm-hmm.
and very much dangerous. Biblical times, but it is very much dangerous when you get to kind of see the effect of it. You can't even go to the police and then complain about something, because the moment you turn up to the police station, you are under arrest. It's just like simply, like now, like a few days ago now, if you sneeze and then if I say God bless you, I can be arrested for that. If you are Muslim, you will probably get offended when I say God bless you, and then I committed a crime with that. It's just like very, very dangerous, very dangerous. You turn up to the police station with the evidence, picture evidence, uh, and then just like you are the one who spent a couple of hours in the cell. I don't know if you've seen the thumbnail of the video. I put thumbnail. I put the Metropolitan Police uh,
Mm-hmm. Yep. In the middle.
sign that as well, because when Muslims, as they were on the streets supporting Hamas terrorist organization, calling for jihad, Met said, the police organization said, actually, jihad has many different meaning. I know most people think it's holy war, but actually that it has many different
Where
meanings.
did they get this information from? It's not in Quran.
Well, that's where they are. Hezbollah is like terrorist organization according to UK, but police like, oh no, that's your freedom of speech. Go and
Huh?
continue to support
So
terrorist organizations.
terrorist organization Hezbollah has a flag which supposedly Muslims think that is the flag of Palestine. It's not a flag of Palestine. It's the flag of Hezbollah. Hezbollah is in power in Gaza, and they create this flag. That's a Hezbollah flag, by the way, FYI. And and that flag is being raised in UK left, right, and center. It's the Hezbollah
Yeah,
flag.
and like police tells this Muslim, actually, yeah, it's your freedom of like people are complaining to the police, and then police express, oh no, that's freedom of speech. Like police doesn't even turn to and then say, excuse me, You can't have the terrorist organizations flag here. But as I said, we've got members of the House of Parliament right now simply are in the demonstrations to support terrorist organizations, and it is absolutely okay in Britain right now. And it all goes back, once they become upper hand, they do not settle for peace, they settle to be ruler. And applications of that, how it is right now in Germany, how it is right now in France, and how it is right now in England, very soon probably it will end up in America as well. Very dangerous, very, very dangerous. But
Absolutely.
we allowed it to go like this. So
So, by the way, there is a person with a Japanese name, and I can't read his Japanese name, but he said because of taqayya. My friend, it's not taqayya. Taqiyya is a terminology used only at the time when your life is in danger. So when you use the word with a Muslim in a discussion that you are lying because of taqiyya, he's going to reject you left, right, and center. There are so many other ideologies in Islam which talks about lying with the non-Muslim. There is darura, maruna, adbul hayal, ilmul dajjal, adabul dajjal, and tisyar. All of these type of lyings are there in Islam, in which you do not have to be persecuted, you do not have a life threatening event, but you are in a debate. For example, adabul dajjal. Adab means literature, dajjal means liar or lying. Adabul dajjal, the literature of lying, is a specific literature that is being taught to the Muslim apologetics, that the purpose of you having an argument with a non-Muslim is not to find the truth, but rather to win the argument. And it is a jihad, and everything is allowed in jihad, hence lying is permissible. So the problem is, as soon as you use the word taqiyya, you are in a false, you are in a wrong, because the Muslim will pick up this word and say, no, we do not lie, we are not lying because we are not under the threat of being killed. So use the
actually,
right terminology.
actually, they say their response is usually, "I am not Shia."
By the way, taqiyya is in Quran. It has nothing to do with Shia or Sunni. But anyhow,
Yeah, that's what they say. Like, "Oh, I'm not Shia."
so with that being said, let's go to the verses of jihad first, and then I will open one more dramatic situation for a later time. Jihad in Islam, and I'm going to go according to the revelation order. What is the revelation order, by the way? Let's read the revelation order. Let's understand. I'm not giving you the verses in an order in which the Quran is currently in at this moment. Okay. I'm going to give you the verses in an order of the revelation. So, Quran was supposedly, quotes and quotes, revealed to Muhammad in different times. For example, Surah Alaq is supposedly the first surah. According to Bukhari, Surah Al-Mudassir is the first surah as well, and Ibn Kasir also takes that to be the first surah as well. But once again, that's a disagreement between the two. Most commonly taken argument is that Surah Alaq is the first surah, then Surah Qalam, then Surah Muzammil, then Mudassir, and then Fatiha, then Masad, then so on and so forth, all the way to 114 surahs. So, so chapter number 96 is basically the first surah. Chapter number 68 is the second surah, according to the revelation order. If you want to understand the jihad and the progression of jihad, you have to read the Quran and the verses of the jihad according to the revelation order. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to comprehend this. Sister, would you like to say something?
Even though, like, for example, the picture we have on the screen, even though Muslims kind of still trying to figure out what Allah revealed at first, just remember, as Allah reveals things, okay, you will pick up with the previous verse Adam showed. Everything is gonna start very peacefully, and then what's gonna happen? Boom, 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 boom.
By the way, check this out. Let me show
It's
you a
gonna be
beautiful thing.
Allah Akbar, gonna happen
Allahu
very
Akbar.
soon.
Boom. You know, Surah Muzammil is chapter number 3, right? By revelation. You can
Yeah.
see that over here, right? So check this out. 73, 73:20. And you know, in 73:20, it says, Katilu. yuqatiluna fi sabilillah. And then people were like, chapter number 73 is the third surah. At this time, Muhammad haven't even given revelation to the people because Muhammad waited 3 years before he could publicly announce it. Then Allah is not even using jihad, the word jihad here. Allah is using qatilun, yuqatilun, that you fight. Akhiruna yuqatiluna fi sabilillah, fight with the people in the cause of Allah. And they're like, what should we do with this verse? Oh, okay. This was a Madani verse after the Hijrah, but somehow Muhammad placed it in Surah Muzammil.
You do have I can't remember who was the name of, what was the name of the guy, Muslim guy who died a couple of years ago. He's got book on like how the Quranic verses revealed stuff, and then you get, it's like shocking. Okay, so let's say like 20 verses reveals, and then you got this one very short verse apparently revealed like a couple of years after that, but they put it like just over there, and then chapter continues with couple of more verse, and then another verse comes weeks later or months later, and then Muslims decides they are going to put it there. So if you go to your previous picture, like, so even in here, like so
Except
chapter 73 comes, and then like, oh, two verses reveals when they are in Medina.
3, 11, 10, and 20.
Yeah, like, and then but like the way they put it in the thing, actually, like if you think practically, what happened is Muhammad didn't even remember what he said before when they moved to Medina after 10 years, even 12 years. Muhammad start like editing things up, and then Muslims like, yeah, see, Allah is just editing these 3 verses in it. That's how it happened, like, because he lied and then he couldn't remember, and then he started editing things up, and then this is how it revealed.
Absolutely, sister. So let's go to the jihad verses now after we have understood that I'm going to show in the supposed revelation order which Muslims agree upon. All right, so let's go to the verse number 1. This is Quran chapter number 47. No, sorry, that's my bad. Chapter number 25, which is the 43rd chapter by revelation according to Quran. Now Muhammad has some gathering, some people, around 30 plus people at this time supposedly. 25 verse number 52. And it says, so do not obey the disbeliever. And now check this out. When, like, look at Sahih International, the words that they put in translation for the word jihad, okay, you will see that these words will change. Sometimes it is strive, sometimes it is fighting, sometimes it's jihad. So Sahih International is using the same word and giving you 3 different meaning for the same word, which is jihad. Wajahiduhum bihi jihadan kabira, strive against them with it. And then you have i.e. Quran, he's doing tafsir for you as well, with a great striving, no, with a big striving. Yes, sister, so you see, strive, that's where striving is. Strive for Allah with the Quran. How do you strive for Allah with the Quran, sister?
You take the Quran, and then you hit them, you smack them with their neck. You take the Quran, and then you ask them to put their hands like this, and then you hit top of their finger. Probably that's
Perfect,
how it is.
perfect. I have to disagree with you on
That's
this
your
one.
sword.
The Muslim scholar says this is the debating style of jihad, where you do jihad by your mouth, by your tongue, to the people. And
That can't be the case, because we don't get to see any proper debate in the Quran.
yeah,
But
but like that's what Muslim scholar says. All right, let's go to chapter number 16, verse number 110. This is by revelation, 70th chapter by revelation, chapter number 16. They then indeed your Lord to those who immigrate after they have been compelled and therefore fought. Huh? Fought? What's Arabic?
جاهدوا.
So basically, you see over here, Sahih International changed the word strive to fought. And if you even mouse over here, it still strove hard. But here in the Sahih International, it says fought. You know why he actually did that? Why he did that? Because check this out, the context, what he's trying to show. They are fighting and were patient because the disbelievers are compelling them. Check this out. Indeed, your Lord to those who immigrated after they have been compelled and therefore fought and were patient. Now, this is this is where Muslim scholars have a disagreement. Some says this is literal fighting for the defensive fighting, and some says in this one is the fighting with themselves and their shayateen inside, and then being patient is fighting, and being patient is jahidu. So that is the verse where Muslim scholars come up and say, oh, fighting of shayateen, fighting of this. But Muslim scholars in the early part of Islam have disagreement that what does this verse means. All right. Third verse where Muslim scholars have disagreement. This is chapter number 29, verse number 69. This is 85th chapter by Revelation. And it says, and those who strive, once again, the fought or fighting went away. Jahidu again becomes strive. For us, we will surely guide them to our ways, and indeed Allah is with in the wrongdoers. All right. Three verses. These are the only three verses where the word jihad is mentioned, where Muslim scholars have disagreement. Whether it is fighting with the non-believers, whether it is fighting with the shayateen internal self, whether it is being patient to yourself, whether it is being inflicted and not saying to something, or is it actually fighting. These are the only three verses which is supposedly, according to Muslim scholars, it is before the hijrah, before the migration. That is why they are confused whether this is about fighting or not, because supposedly they think these are before the migration. Now, all of the rest of the verses, the 50 plus verses that I'm going to show you today, are after the migration. And every single verse after the migration, you'll see a beautiful context. Let's go to chapter number 2, verse number 218.
So
Sister, do you want to add something before I go?
everything is very nice. People are doing jihad for their six pack. People are doing jihad for their debate.
Mhm.
And then, because why they are minority, and then things are gonna get changed.
Now Muhammad has people.
Yep. Not people, he's got like bombs.
Here you go. Indeed, those who believed and those who immigrated and fought in the cause of Allah. Word is jahidu. By
وجاهدوا
the way, check the pronunciation if you don't know Arabic.
وجاهدوا
And check the pronunciation over here.
جاهدوا.
It's the same word. How does this becomes strive and this becomes a fighting? Now the fighting begins. The word jihad and the word qital in the Quran is used interchangeably, and that is exactly what the tafsir writers did. If you actually go into the Arabic tafsirs of Tibri, Qurtubi, and Ibn Kasir, you will see how they explains the word jihad. They don't explain it as striving. No, no, no. They explain it as qatal, yukatilu, qatal. That is how they explain it. So it is a synonym of the word fighting. Now here, this is the context of Badr. So we will see 16 to 18,
Um,
218.
just a quick question, brother.
Yes.
Is that fighting in a way of like having pillow fights, or fighting until other person dies?
I only I hope this is not is a sarcastic question, because the only fighting we know in Quran is fighting till everybody dies.
Okay, because like I heard that some people say when you say fighting, it can be like pillow fighting.
No,
Um,
that's qital. Qital, qital in qital, kutil. Kutil means kill. Qital means fighting till you kill. Kutil is kill. Qital is if you It's a killing fighting. It's like gladiator fighting.
Yeah, so you fight. So no, like I just don't want people to kind of leave the stream by thinking, ah, yeah, you just went the battle and then you lost the battle and then you are home. It is in a sense of like you go until other person or you die. It's to fight to the end.
Exactly. There you go. Check this out. Chapter number 2, verse number 216.
القتال
Al-Qitalu, the fighting, right? So here it is fighting. 218. Check this out. Oh, he said
وجاهدوا
strove. So fought. So you'll see here how is it is starting from 216. And I've shown 216 before, and I said I'll go to 217 later. It says, battle has been enjoyed upon you while it is hateful to you. So people did not want you to go into battles. People did not want you to kill. Allah is saying it has been enjoined upon you, even though you dislike it. But perhaps, Allah is the God of perhaps, by the way. Perhaps has been used in Quran 272 times. It's unbelievable how many times Allah used it. 272 times the word perhaps has been used in the Quran. Allah is the God of perhaps. Everything is perhaps in Quran. Perhaps you'll hate something, but it's good for you. And perhaps you love something and it is bad for you. And Allah is knowing and all wise. Now Allah is saying what? After Allah is saying, but I have enjoyed fighting on you. Check this out. Yes, Aluna, there you go. They ask you about the sacred month. The last caravan robbery, which was successful, that I've shown you in Siratun Nabi by Ibn Ishaq, it is the Battle of the Sufyan, where the first killing has happened. And the Mushrikeen Makkah said, or the idolaters of Makkah said, that Muhammad, you and your people attacked in the sacred month when the fighting was not allowed. That is when you fought. That is when you killed. And Allah saying, yeah, they ask you about sacred month. Yeah. Fighting therein is bad. Yeah, I know. No. But fighting therein is great sin. But. Averting people from the way of Allah and disbelieving Him is a greater sin. So kill them, no matter if it is sacred month or not. Doesn't matter. So this is what Allah is saying. You said jihad fighting. What type of fighting? This type of fighting. It's right here in the context. I'm not even going to the tafsir right now. Even you look at it in the context, it said they ask you about the sacred month, about fighting therein. Say fighting is a great sin, but Allah is saying disbelieving in Him is better, bigger thing, and expulsion of the people is greater sin, and Allah and fitna is greater than killing. Allah is explaining what kind of fighting. Oh, you people, you think fighting in the sacred month is not good? Allah is saying, oh, disbelieving in Allah is greater sin than killing. There you go. This jihad is fighting till you kill. Kill. That is how you spread terror. You don't spread terror by pillow fighting. That is why I spent the whole last 2.5 hours in the last stream on explaining what terror is, how Allah spread terror, so that when you come into the jihad verses, you will have a full context of it, how Allah spread terror, why Allah spread terror, why Muhammad was given terror, why Muslims were called terrorists in the Quran, not according to me, in the Quran. Why? Because Allah has given them the qital and the jihad till you kill. Till you kill. There you go. And they will be continue to fight till they turn back from your religion if they are able. And whoever of you reverts from his religion and dies while he is disbelief, for those deeds will be worthless, and etc. Then comes this verse: Inna lazina amanu wa zina jahidu fi sabilillah. That's the fighting we are talking about. We are fighting that whether it is a sacred month, whether it is not a sacred month, do fighting, do killing. That's what Islam teaches about when it comes to jihad. This is the first verse of jihad where every single Muslim agree it is fighting. It is fighting. It is fighting. Fight till death. The gladiator fight. Yes, sister.
I've got nothing to say, brother.
All right, let's go forward.
I'm just silent by this religion of pieces.
Thank you so very much, sister. But unfortunately, this is the reality of this deen Muhammadi.
I guess the concern is while you are able to pull up those sources and you didn't need to do that much research, all you did is pick up the Quran and then get the tafsir of it and it's all available to online. It is very much concerning that people who didn't even bother to pick up the Quran or the tafsir simply claims, oh no, Islam is the religion of peace, jihad is just in a struggle, all that. Just strange.
Not a single verse in the Quran talks about jihad as struggle. And I shown you the three verses. Go read Tibri and Qurtubi, and you will see people are disagreeing on this, whether it is absolutely internal or external as well. Anyhow, chapter number 8. Chapter number 8 is loot mar kamal. You know that, right? When you go and loot somebody and take the money and then you distribute it among the people.
Chap-
That's chapter number 8.
Chapter 8 is how to get rich and richer.
By looting other people.
Yeah.
That is Surah Anfal. That's the literal meaning of Anfal. The money that you get after you loot people in battle. That's the word Anfal. So this is the chapter of Anfal, how to distribute. And it's verse number 72. The word is Jahidu. What does it say? Check this out. Indeed, those who have believed and immigrated and fought. Now, fighting is of two types. Fighting with their wealth and their lives. Allah is saying in the beginning, Allah is saying you have to do both kind of fight. When you go to chapter number 9, you have an exception whether you do it with your wealth or you do it with your life. Because at that time, you have so many people that Allah wants some people to stay back and spread Islam, give dawah, and be the scholars of Islam. So you have certain people who have been expelled from doing the jihad in chapter number 9. But in chapter number 2, everyone has to fight because the word is and with their wealth and with their life, bi amwalihim wa anfusahum fi sabilillah, by their nafs, by their wealth and by their nafs, anfusahum, and their lives, right? Fi sabilillah, in the cause of Allah. And those who gave shelter and aided, they are allies of one another. But those who believed and did not immigrate, for you there is no support for them until they immigrate. And if they seek help of you for the religion, then you must help accept. Now, what is happening here? It is for the people who stayed back and did not even migrated, and they were with the people of the Badr from the Mushrikeen, from the Kuffar Makkah. Allah said they are hellbound. Sorry, don't pray for them. You immigrated, you stayed with Muhammad, you helped Muhammad. Now you are fighting, and you have to fight with your wealth and with your life. And you think you can support them and not kill them? No, 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 no. Go to the fight, kill them all. Don't worry, they're all yours. Kill, kill, kill. Absolutely. Then it says, and those who disbelieve are allies of one another as well. They're just one another. They disbelieved, whether they are Muslims or not. If you do not so ally yourself with another disbelief, then will be fitna on the earth and a great corruption. There you go. By the way, this verse is a contextual verse. I wrote it. There's no jihad there. Let's read the verse of jihad. Next verse. But those who have believed and immigrated and fought in the cause of Allah, and those who gave shelter and aided, excuse me, it is they who are believers. Truly, for them is forgiveness and noble provision. What is the noble provision?
So
You know,
let's just make sure we understand. So condition of those who are true believers are what? Those who
they
immigrated,
and
fighting
fought for the
fight in
cause
the
of
name
Allah.
of Allah, and also who helped these who are fighting in the name of Allah.
One, exactly.
Yeah. So that's identifies you as a true believer.
By the way, sister, you have seen that there's in jihad, the word jihad now, Sahih International is always translating it as fought. Other than the first three verses where he did strive, the rest of the verses they start talking about fighting of jihad. There you go, another jihad. Next verse is also about jihad again. And those who believed after immigration and immigrated and fought with you, they are of you. But those of blood relationship now of yours are more entitled in the decree of Allah. Indeed, Allah is knowing of all things. You know what is happening? You see what is happening? That
I'm just seeing concerning things are being said in here.
so Allah is putting the people who has your own relations, relatives. He's saying they are. You think they are more entitled? No, 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 no. The ones who are with you, they did the migration and they fought in the cause of Allah.
But
They are from within you.
yeah,
But of those, yes,
that's a very like normal approach we get from Muslims, like when uh let's say I know a Muslim missionary, his family is not Muslim, and his relationship with his other Muslims are much closer versus his relationship with his family. And I remember him saying in the battle, if there is a battle, he will go against his family with his Muslim brothers and sisters.
absolutely.
That's what
Absolutely.
Islam does.
Let's go to the next verse, chapter number 3, verse number 142. Here you will have a final verdict of Allah. After that, if you need more verses, let me know. I'll read it. But that's the final verdict, basically. Or do you think that you will enter paradise while Allah has not yet made evident to those of you who fought in the cause and made evident those who are steadfast? There you go. There you
Um,
go.
do you think you are going to enter the paradise while Allah doesn't make it known to you? Who do you think you are thinking those things? Nope.
No, you have not fought in the cause of Allah. How can you think that you
Are
can
gonna
go
get
into heaven?
paradise. Yep.
No, you can go to Jannah. تدخلون الجنة ولما يعلم الله الذين جاهدوا منكم ويعلم الصابرين. So be steadfast, wait. Allah will make you fight. Allah will make you fight. You are not going to go to Jannah. You're not going to go to paradise. Allah has not yet made known to you how to fight for the cause of Allah. So hey, you stupid. If you haven't fought, you can't go to Jannah. You can't go to Jannah. That is why there's a hadith in Sunnah.com. It talks about it that if you have never fought or not even thought about fighting in the cause of Allah, you are of the disbelievers. You know, it's like if you cannot fight, at least in your mind, you always have to know that you have to fight. If you haven't even thought about fighting, you are you will be raised among the branch of munafiqeen, among the branch of hypocrites.
It might be also helpful, since we are in this verse, for people to be aware of. This verse is also used regarding Allah doesn't have the knowledge of everything. Allah is not all-knowing. Allah doesn't know who is going to go to heaven. So yeah, just check that out as well. We've got like many videos on that as well. Knowledge of Allah. Allah is going to learn who is going to get the paradise.
Sunnah.com is very, very slow right now. I don't know what's happening. It's okay, forget Sunnah.com.
You didn't say
But like,
inshallah?
yeah, because I want to show you that hadith in Nasai, which says, if you have never fought or have not thought about fighting, you will be raised in the afterlife in the branch of hypocrites. So anyhow, let's go forward. We'll go to Sunnah.com later. In Quran chapter number 60, verse number 1. Now, this is my beautiful, beautiful verse. Contextually, it should not be here, but it is here. I can't do much about it, why it is here. So what happened is, now, chapter number 60, verse number 1. Badr has happened, Uhud has happened, Khandak has happened. Muhammad had a contract with the Quraysh Makkah, the treaty that you call it, Treaty of Hudaybiyah. All right. He had a Treaty of Hudaybiyah, and there was a tribe outside, way outside Makkah. That tribe had one person fighting with another person. So one of the tribe was Makkan and the other tribe was Madian. They had a fight with each other, And during that fight, because of watering their fields, and this is a very common fight in Pakistan and India as well, because water is very precious commodity when your field needs water. So they had a fight. One guy killed another guy. Then the other group brought 3 or 4 of his friends, fought with their family, killed a couple of them as well. That fight. So the people went to Muhammad and they said, "Oh, Quraysh Makkah broke their treaty. They fought with us." And Muhammad was like, "Okay, guys, come on, let's get ready. Let's get ready for fighting." Back in those days, these these cities did not have their own armies. They are pledged by area different area kings or different area leaders, that when the time of fighting will come, will call upon you and you have to provide X many people. This is the same thing that is happening. Muhammad is now preparing for the conquest of Makkah and he's calling out multiple people. Hey, come on, send me your forces, send me your forces, send me your forces. One of the guy living in Medina had his own family in Makkah, and he sent his slave girl to go there and give them this letter to get out of Makkah, because the army of Muhammad is coming. Muhammad found out. He sent his commanders to go get that slave girl. That slave girl was caught. Letter was taken from her. She was killed. In some rawayas traditions, she was killed. In some traditions, she was captured and put into jail. And this verse of Allah was revealed. O you who have believed, do not take my enemies, Allah's enemies, and your enemies as allies. Extend it to them affection while they have disbelieved in what come to you of the truth, having driven out the prophet and yourself, because you believed in Allah, your Lord. If you have come out for jihad, now they didn't say, international didn't even translate that, fighting in my cause and seeking means of my approval, you confine to them affection. How can you still love them? But I am most knowing of what you have concealed and what you have declared. And whoever does it among you has certainly strayed from the soundness of the way. Now Muhammad is starting a battle where Quraysh Makkah have no idea they are under the treaty. Muslim comes and tell me, "Oh, Muhammad attacked Makkah because they broke the treaty." And I was like, which of the mushrikeen Makkah knew that the treaty has been broken? It's written in your seeras, in your tafsir. The whole story that I told you is written in Siratun Nabi by Ibn Kasir, Siratun Nabi by Ibn Ishaq, History of Tibri, and the tafsir of this ayah in Ibn Kasir and Al-Qurtubi. So every single scholar agrees this is how Muhammad started the battle towards conquest of Makkah, and he gathered the people, hit them and attacked them without telling them that he is attacking. And yet Muslimin in the Pakistan and India comes to me and say Muslim never attack from the back. Quran chapter number 60 verse number 1. Open any reference of that and you will know this is how Muhammad deceptively attacked on Makkah and conquered it. Sister, would you like to add something?
Without deception, no Islam at all. Muslims depend on deception. I love to know a little bit more about enemy of Allah, though.
Huh? Sorry.
I would love to know a little bit more about the phrase when Allah says my enemies and your enemies. So Allah has his enemies,
Yes,
and then his followers has
their
their
enemies.
enemies, and then both of enemies are coming together. So when Allah says my enemies, who does Allah mean?
I have no idea. If you find that out, do let me know as well. I'll be very happy to know that.
I think, like in this occasion, you are one of Allah's enemy. Nothing personal here, but that's how it seems in the context. Anyone who doesn't love Muhammad is seen enemy to Allah.
I already have so many fatwas against me, sister. So it doesn't matter. I have been called the enemy of Allah so many times. 533. Whoever fight with Allah and Muhammad. By the way, how can you fight with Allah? Like, how can you fight with Allah? If Allah is God, how can I fight with him? Can I like okay, forget that. Topic will change. Okay, let's go. Chapter number 4. After chapter number 60, which is the 91st chapter of the Quran by revelation, let's go to 92nd chapter of the Quran by revelation, that is Quran chapter number 4. And it says, not equal are those believers remaining at home, and that the disbelieved, and the mujahideen, who are the mujahideen? Who fight
Disabled, yeah.
in the cause of Allah, in the cause of Allah, with their wealth and their lives. So now Allah is creating a full-fledged distinction between the two. If you stay back, you are the bad Muslims. You are the bad Muslims. So all the moderate Muslims who come and tell me, hey Adam, we are moderate Muslim. We don't like fighting. We love people. We love humanity. And I was like, there's no humanity in Quran. No, none, nada, zero, none. Allah is clearly saying there is a distinction between the people who fight in the way of Allah with their wealth and their life versus the people who stay back at home. That is why from Europe, the maximum amount of money going to Hezbollah and Hamas is coming out from Europe in terms of pounds and euros. Yes, sister.
When you look at the background of this verse, it might be helpful to remember. So there is a blind guy saying, "But what about us? What about us, Allah?"
Yes.
And then the part other than the disabled is being edited to the verse, so that suddenly, like when this blind guy says, "Like, but what about me? Like I can't do any of those things," and then Allah steps in and says, "Oh, other than the disabled
Blinds.
ones, you're
Blind and
fine."
disabled ones.
Allah just like fills the gap with the request.
So yeah, that's the context where things were not there. But anyhow, Allah has preferred the mujahideen through their wealth and their life over the ones who remained behind by the decree of Allah. Now, imagine this, sister. How can the
I don't
Muslims say
want to
I'm
imagine, brother. I don't want to imagine these violence things. They're already happening. I'm seeing them. No need imagination here.
all right? No imagination then. Literally, that is happening in the Britain, and it's gonna go all the way up here to this level, the level of killing. It is going to come now. You know, when Muhammad started in the last times of his hijrah and the first 6 months of his after the hijrah, that was with a slap kind of a thing and robbing the caravan kind of a thing, and then comes the fighting and the killing. So if you are not going to wake up soon, that is coming, guys, ladies and gentlemen. That's Quran chapter number 4, verse number 95. Then we go to 95th chapter by revelation, which is Quran chapter number 47, verse number 31, and that is also about mujahideen. Now imagine this, all of these things are very, very, it's right there. So right there. And Qurtubi says, so that we would know who Shaheed is. And we will surely test you until we make evident those who strive up among you, fight among you, and the patient, and we will test your affairs. What is the testing of the affair here is? Al-Qurtubi says this is when you become a Shaheed. So you will get the martyrdom. Shaheed is martyrdom. When you get the martyrdom. And then this is the pure fighting all the way to the martyrdom if you will look for Qurtubi. Here, Sahih International tried to deceive you by putting strive here. All of the previous verses that I've shown you, he used the translator as fought. Why did he use the translation as strive here? Because he can. In the context, it doesn't seems like proper fighting. So he's like, okay, let me put strive here. Sahih International is one of the most falsified translation in the history of falsified translation, other than Muhammad Hijab translation and the latest translation, which is Mustafa Kitab. Mustafa Kitab and Muhammad Hijab translation are just forget them, burn them, please. That never to use them again. But Sahih International is very, very deceptive. And then again, we go all the way to chapter number 22, verse number 77 and 78. That is the 103rd chapter by revelation of the Quran. Now look at the beauty. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O people who believe, bow down in prostration and worship your Lord and do good that you may succeed. Now, what kind of good? Al khair la'allakum
الخير.
taqalun. What kind of good we are talking about? Check the next verse. Wajahidu fi sabilillah, and fight for the cause of Allah with the fighting due to Him, not striving, not strive. It says Wajahidu fi sabilillah. He has chosen you and has not placed upon you in the religion any difficulty. So this fighting is not difficulty at all, because otherwise, if it is strive, then there is a difficulty. The religion of your father Abraham. I'm confused. I'm confused. Before Muhammad, has anybody in Arabian Peninsula of this area had said that our father is Abraham? Why is Muhammad, or Allah of Muhammad is using the terminology used by the Jews? Question, food for thought for some other day. He named you Muslims. Allah has even named your religion Muslim before, and in this the messenger may be witness over you and you may be witness over the people. Now imagine this witness. When Muhammad died, Muslims came and yes, they gave this verse and said, Muhammad is supposed to be witness over us. How can he be witness if he is dead? He is not dead. He's going to raise up like Jesus in 3 days. He's going to raise up like Jesus in 3 days. Some Christian apologist says that early Islam does not believe that Muhammad will raise up. They doesn't believe that Jesus died in the cross and raised up on the third day. No, early Islam, from the Islamic Sahih sources, Muslims are saying Muhammad is going to raise up like Jesus. And then Sahih Bukhari says, and then he will start cutting the hands and the feet of some of you people. He's going to raise up and then he'll start cutting the hands and feet of some of the people. Mustadrak as-Sahihan says that Muhammad's lash, his dead body, was kept there for 3 days until his belly started to blot and a smell started to come out, which is like the smell of the dead body. And people were waiting for Muhammad to raise up again like Jesus. Mustadrak al-Sahihan, the death of Muhammad, the chapter of the death of Muhammad. And then, when you look at this one, they picked up this verse as well and they stated and they claimed, Ya Muhammad, how can Muhammad die? How can Muhammad die? He's supposed to be witness over us. He is supposed to be witness. How can he be witness over us? How can Allah forgive us now when he is not even a witness? And that is why when the Muslimin always says, Oh Allah, give Muhammad the maqam mahmood so that he can get us forgiven in the akhirah. So he can intercede for us. Every single Muslim, whenever he listens to the adhan, the call of prayer, right after the adhan finishes, a Muslim starts to recite this prayer. I had memorized this prayer when I was a Muslim. Allahumma rabbaha bihid-da'wati at-tama was-salati al-qa'ima ati Muhammadan al-wasilata wal-fazila wad-darajata ar-rafi'a wa ba'athu maqaman mahmudan allazi wa'at warzuqna shifatahu yawm al-qiyamah innaka la tukhliqul miyad. The last part, the translation is, Oh Lord, give Muhammad the maqam, the place where he could intercede for us, for which you have promised. Like, if Allah has promised, he's going to leave his promise. Yes, he's going to leave his promise. Allah can. One of the beautiful part, when I became a Christian, then the Christian came and told me, God is faithful. I was like, what? What? I am faithful. No. God is faithful. No, I am faithful. You are faithful. How can God be faithful? Man, in Christianity, God is faithful. The true God is faithful. God of Islam has nothing to do with faithfulness. Muslims in every part of the world has to remind Allah after every call of prayer, Allah, please give Muhammad the place of Mahmud, which you have promised him, so that he could intercede for us. People, Muslims, the follower of Muhammad, are praying for Muhammad that, oh Allah, fulfill the promise that you have made with Muhammad. Because Allah in the Quran is not faithful. He sends you astray. He leads you astray. He deceives you. He deceives you.
It is, if you look from the perspective of how you can't even trust to someone who is not faithful. So he's not trustworthy. He doesn't keep his promises. Okay. And Abu Bakr, father-in-law of Muhammad, kind of puts this in a perfect sense. Like he says, even if my one foot is in the paradise, because his other feet is not in the paradise yet, I cannot trust Allah. Allah will deceive him. He can only trust Allah when his 2 feet enters into paradise. That's like father-in-law of the Prophet is saying. I cannot, like, Allah is so deceptive. Allah is so deceptive. He's not faithful. He doesn't keep his promises. Even one of foot of Abu Bakr is in paradise. He still won't trust Allah until his other feet comes into paradise. But, well, clearly it never happened. It will never happen. But
It will never happen. Absolutely, sister. Very well then. God bless you.
thank you. Don't say that. Now you are going to be criminal now.
Let me be a criminal for Christ. I am already a criminal. I have 6 courts of law against me in Pakistan anyway, so I'm already a criminal. I have
No, saying
295.
God bless you can be a crime now.
Yeah, I know. You know, there was a sister who was standing in the side of the street, closed her eyes, and supposedly she was praying. She
Yeah,
was captured and put to jail. And then I read another news article, where the police had to pay her 8,000 pounds because police could not prove that she was praying, because she was praying silently. So police could not prove. So she was let go from the jail and was paid 8,000 pounds, not because that it is a right to pray wherever she can or wherever she want to, because she was silently praying. Hence, the police could not
prove
fully
it.
prove that she was praying. What kind of a country do you live in, sister?
It's called England.
My
It's not
God.
only that, not like they're even gonna control in the zones. They will be controlling who moves in. You can't even pray in your house if you are in that zone. But yeah, so even like quietly praying can take you to jail.
In your home.
Uh, yeah, so it will be the same, quietly or speakingly, loudly, doesn't matter. Yeah, if you are in that zones, butter zones, then that's how it is going to be. Yeah.
What kind of a country is it? It's like why do people even live there then?
So what? You want people to just move away?
Like, leave this shitty place, spit on it, and go to some other place. Like, this is stupidity. Like, even Pakistan is not like this.
Yeah, but I don't know if you are aware the kind of suggestions you are putting to people. So because government is changing, because laws are changing, you are saying to people just leave and then move on. Leave to whom? Muslims has no right to take my property. But leaving, you are giving your property to Muslims. Government has no right to control my prayer. Yet leaving is simply saying, yes, you can control. It's like, in a serious note, it is like most of people don't have much options. But that's how it is. You are simply saying, like, move to somewhere else. What are the options? People don't have much options. Like, for example, lady who was just praying quietly. How many times she got arrested? She got arrested a couple of times. She got stopped. So someone is telling her, you cannot pray quietly. You cannot talk to your God. You cannot communicate with your God. I am going to control that. And when, sake of the argument, if she moves, where is she going to go? She can't go to Europe. It's the same thing. Even like going to somewhere else, setting a brand new life is problematic. Like, those things are not that simple, but overall, no one should have right to tell you which book you should be reading. When can you speak to your God? Or even when can you speak to your friend? Like there are individuals. This gentleman, he's been arrested a couple of times, simply having the banner of stating that Hamas is terrorist. And one of his bailing condition was he cannot enter certain areas of country. Police simply tells you from now on, it happened to me, like police tells you, you cannot go to this area anymore. Police thinks it is their right to tell you where you can go, when you can go, what time you can go. Police thinks they have right, that's what they're doing, who you can call. Like this gentleman who was arrested for having the ban of Hamas is terrorist, one of his bailing condition was he cannot make a call to his friend. He cannot communicate with his friend directly or indirectly. Life in North Korea is not much different. I know ex-Muslims in Saudi Arabia, even they don't have these restrictions. But in England, police has right to tell you which part of the country you can walk and you cannot walk. Which part of the country, like whom you can call, whom you can talk, who you can make friend or not. Judge has a right to tell you which book you can read and which book you cannot read. Lord Jesus Christ came to set us free, yet bunch of idiots think it is their right that they want you to hand over your freedom. I have been in a places like police tells you, no, I'm going to hold up your property. You cannot use this. Police thinks it is all right. It is all right for them to go through all of your property, all of it. Police thinks it's all right for them to tell you what time and which ticket you can buy. You want to travel to London? Only ticket you can buy is this time. You cannot take any other train to London. And that's England. It is happening. So
I've seen some science fiction movies, sister, where these kind of things were there. So
yeah,
basically, those science fiction films.
what happened was British government is inspired by these science fiction movies, and then they're putting in practice now.
Wow.
But this is like very normal in England now. So idea of you don't like it, you go. That's what one of the part-time stripper Muslim missionary was saying. Okay, if you don't like it, just leave. But it is people's home. People make their home. I know, like, sadly, I took part in a life of someone that people who had to move around, change their location simply because of me. Why? Because like police told them I was putting their life in danger. And those people had nothing to do with Islam. These people had nothing to do with like any politics at all. But because they were linked with me, and they are born in Britain, their family born in Britain, like they're proper British people, but they had to move around. They had to change their place from one place to other place. Why? Because police told them, she's putting your life in danger, you've got to change. That's what part-time stripper Mohammed Hijab says. You don't like it? Door is there, just leave. But no, I know that's very Islamic mindset. I came, I take over, you move on. But it is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. Like someone brought up Tommy Robinson. He exposed a criminal gangs in Britain. If he did that in somewhere else, he would be honored. He would be given medals for rewards for what he's done. He exposed Islamic grooming gangs. He exposed that white British children and Sikh kids were not safe because there were intentional rapists were actively hunting down these girls. If he did that in Poland, everyone would be, wow, thank you. Let's figure out how to fix this issue. But now he's about to get into jail. He went to jail, and now his second jail is coming, simply exposing the crime, exposing the criminal and saying this is wrong. So that's what Britain is now. So as I said earlier, we live in the times when evil is called good, and no one has a problem with that. People are quite happy with it. You let someone to just touch your nail, as the time comes, they took all of you. They took all of you because you let them to touch your nail. That is what is happening.
So sad. That is just simply so sad, unfortunately.
Anyway, sorry
And
for changing the topic, but yeah, so
yeah, but like that's jihad as well in reality.
yeah.
That's the proper jihad. And that is the jihad when people were less in number and they are doing this kind of a jihad. Um, and that is going to go for a bigger jihad very soon, and it's already happening, and we can see that now. Now I have more information than I had before. So thank you so very much for this.
Remember,
This
do you remember Yasir Qadi's teaching on how they can conquer with the numbers?
Yep.
So the way they conquer with the numbers, they make babies, and then they put, as they grow with the numbers, they put not only babies, also through love jihad. They put this love jihad and then babies in a place of authority, and then gently they change the move. Oh, gently first they want have their right of, oh, in the work hours I need my space to pray. Government gives them their space to pray, even though there is mosque only a mile away. Yet they need to, in work hours, they need to take that time and pray. It doesn't stop there. Oh, I want to pray while I am at school. Then take that. Government gives them, law gives them that right. It moves on then. Okay. Oh, I need my right. Like right now, they don't even pay interest. They don't even pay stamp tax, like when they buy houses, all those kind of things. Why? Because gently they pull these laws, they put these laws, and no one can kind of comment on it. It's all done deal. So they conquer with numbers, they conquer with the laws, simply put those laws, and people are not following what is happening. So you just find out, oh yeah, there is a law, you can't say this, you can't do this. It's all gone. I remember like back in 2017 or 2018, at Speaker's Corner, just before Christmas, we wanted to do carol singing. Police didn't give us right to do carol singing at Speaker's Corner. Versus
what? No. You get. How can it be in Speaker's Corner? Because Speaker Corner is supposed to be the place where you can do
yeah,
anything whatsoever and say anything whatsoever.
yeah. So Muslims were taking over Speaker's Corner. As they take over Speaker's Corner, they were using Speaker's Corner as mosque. So they were just like covering Speaker's Corner with the prayer mats, and then they would pray. And then it went out of control. They would bring these gangs to join them as well. So we asked police to say we are gonna. It was just before Christmas, like do carol singing. Police didn't give us permission to do carol singing. Yet Muslims were quite happy. Police was quite happy, and actually police turned in many occasions blind eye when Muslims did their prayer, but doing carol singing end up being under the worship. So police didn't give us permission for that. But now what it turned up, that's how it turns up now. They've got the laws on
So
their
London has
side.
fallen.
They've got the walk on their side. They even got like fatties for Palestinians on their side, queers for Palestine on their side, and they are ruling. So welcome to Britain.
So let me tell you what is going to happen in future. Once the Muslim will start implement Sharia, then they will kill all the wokes
They
and these fatties.
Yeah, but
That's what happened everywhere.
one of the serious thing is actually like people are don't not so in England, government doesn't even know how many Sharia councils in the country. Like you've got madrasas, government are not even aware of it. I have been in mosques where imam with the congregation was screaming death to America, death to America, okay? When you listen on internet, because like they were recording that mosque was like, so there are people from speakers corner part of that mosque, so that mosque was like like I am here until I take over England through love jihad or uh through sword. So you listen that sermon online, it is all about love and peace or politics. Police simply turn blind eye to that. Like it's just, I don't know, it's just very much messed up. So they've got laws on their side, they've got walks on their side, fatties for free Palestine, queers for free Palestine, everyone is for that, for Hamas. And then when the time comes, it's all gone. They won't
Ah,
they won't even care Hamas is coming after them, or they won't even care Islam is coming after them. They think, yeah, I am nice to them. When Islam comes, they will be nice to me. No, they will come after you, and with like pretty bloody, they will come after you.
absolutely, absolutely. There's a person in the live chat called MAMA, Miss MAMA. Please verify if your father and your mother had nikahul istabra or nikahul rat. If you do not know these terminologies, go check in Sunabi Dawood 2272 and Bukhari 5127. Do let me know what kind of nikah your parents did, whether it was nikahul istabra or nikahul rat, that you had to say these kind of stupid things in the live chat. By
What
the
is
way, if you
what is
think
she say, what is he or she saying?
a lot of things, but let me just say one thing to you. I am a better prophet than your fake prophet Muhammad. And if you ever want to have a discussion on this one, you are more than welcome to join in. Uh, and ask Sister Hatun, and she'll arrange a discussion, and I will come in and I will do that. But do let me know whether you are born out of Nikahul Istabra or Nikahul Rat. All right. With that being said, Sister will start. She is very active in the live
Is
chat while
is
you were
this what
speaking.
is this what he's saying, he or she?
Yeah, she's saying this and she's saying a lot of other stuff
Oh,
and so many things. She got hurt. She got so hurt. I like to hurt people when they are
I'll
hurt.
think about it, and then I'll let you know where I go. You can come after me. Um,
All right, let's move forward. I think we had a lot of
Distraction. Sorry
uh,
about that.
distraction. No. This was a lot of good information. Let's go to the next verse of the Quran of Jihad, chapter number 49, verse number 15. This is 106 chapter of the Quran, verses of Jihad that we are reading. Look what's happening. The believers are only the ones who believed in Allah and His Messenger, and then doubt not, but fought with their properties and their lives in the cause of Allah. Now, there is nothing called strive here. Why? Because it's with their properties and with their life. How can you strive with your life? وَجَاهِدُوا بِأَمْوَالِهِمْ, with their wealth. وَأَنفُسِهِمْ, same word. Remember the first verse that I've shown you? وَجَاهِدُوا بِأَمْوَالِهِ وَأَنفُسَهُمْ, and their nafs. So here, Sayyid International is putting it what? Strive. Why? Why is he putting strive? Why suddenly the strive is back here rather than fight? Because if we go all the way back to Quran chapter number 2, uh, I think 2, which one did I show to you, where the same word is written? Jahidu fi sabilillahi, with their life and with their wealth. Give me a second. Mhm. Okay. I lost that verse. But anyhow, it was, I think it was 272, 872 to 75. That should be one. Same verse, and now it is taking into 7. There you go. Wajahidu, same word. Wajahidu bi amwalihim wa anfusahum. 3 words. How did Sahih International translated it? Fought with their wealth and their life. Now go back. Strive with their properties and their life. Why? Why? Because now Allah is describing who is a true believer. Now, when Allah is describing who is a true believer, the same 3 words, Jahidu bi amwalihim wa anfusahum, is translated strive with their property and life, because they want to hide that it is not the fighting. What Allah is saying here is the believers, the real mu'mineen, only the ones, only, check this out. Innamal mu'minuna, innama, only al mu'minuna lazina are the ones who amanu billahi wa rasulihi, believes in the Prophet and Allah, and then they lam yartabu, they do not doubt. For what? Doubt for what? Jahidu bi amwalihim wa anfusihim, to fight with their lives and their wealth. Fi sabilillah, for Allah, or in the cause of Allah. And it is those who are truthful. So who are the true prophets? Sorry, not prophets. Who are the true believers? Who are the true believers? Who does 3 things? Believe in Allah and His Messenger, and fight, do jihad with their wealth and their life. That's it.
So
Nothing about.
they don't need to go to Hajj.
Nope.
They don't need to do their prayers.
Nope.
They don't need to do their fasting and then put lots of weight on. All
Nope.
you've got to do is believe in Allah and His Messenger, and then just commit jihad. You are in good hands if you've done that.
Absolutely. This is the final verdict given in 49:15, chapter 49:15, because here, after this, things are going to in a much more dilemmatic situation. Why? Because now if we go to chapter number 66, which is 107th chapter, check what is going to happen.
Just I wanted to also point out the shirk in that previous verse.
There you go.
Just remember, like shirk, Allah and Muhammad, they are both in the same sentence with this like awesome word, linked with the awesome word and. That is shirk. But it's okay in Islam when it is done for Muhammad.
Absolutely. Always. It's always there. It's always there. And then chapter number 66, verse number 9, which is 107 chapter of the Revelation by Revelation. O Prophet, now Allah is calling Muhammad. Fight against the disbeliever and the hypocrites. You check this out. Who's the hypocrite? Ya ayyuhan nabi jahidul kuffara wa munafiqeen. Who are the munafiqeen? When people come to me and say, hey, why do you call ISIS Islamic Tanzim? Why do you call Hamas Islamic Tanzim? They are terrorist organizations. Look, they are killing Muslims. Look, Hamas killed Palestini, so-called, quotes and quotes, so-called Palestini Muslims. And I was like, dude, you are an idiot. You have to fight not with the non-believers, but with the hypocrites as well. Who are the hypocrites? Who believe in Allah and the last day, but do not do what Allah commanded. They are the hypocrites. And what is Allah commanding? You do fight for the cause of Allah. Otherwise, you are a disbeliever. Connect these 2 verses. Let's go back. Connect the last 2 verses. Chapter number 49, verse number 15. Who are the true believers? Who believe in Allah and the last day. Sorry, not last days. Who believe in Allah and Muhammad and fight in the cause of Allah with their life and their wealth. If you don't do that, then you are indeed not from the true believers. And then Allah is saying to the Muhammad, fight who? Fight who? Not just the kuffar, not just the mushrikeen, but also the hypocrites. Who are the hypocrites? The believer who thinks that they are believers. The believers who offer 5-time prayer. The believer who do fasting. The believer who do zakat. The believer who do namaz, prayer. But they do not do fighting. They do not go in the cause of Allah and fight and do jihad. These are the people you have to fight. They are hypocrites. And what does Allah say? And be harsh upon them, and their refuge is hell. Wretched is the destination. Whose destination is wretched? Whose? Not just the kuffar, not the Jews, not the Christians, not the kuffar Makkah, but the hypocrites as well.
So those are the Muslims who don't do their jihad well. Those are
Exactly.
the Muslims who pronounce one word wrong in their prayers. Those are the Muslims who wear long trousers instead of shorter trousers. Those are the Muslims who don't walk and talk or do the things like Muhammad did. Those are the ones. And where is their destination?
Hell.
Hell without ice cream. Yep. Without falafel, without biryani. Not very good place to be. But that's where Allah puts you there. All you needed to do is believe in Allah and Muhammad and then commit jihad. That's all you needed to do. But you fail to do all those things and then you become hypocrite, and hell without ice cream and biryani and falafel is waiting for you.
I don't know why people like falafel. I don't like falafel. I can
Don't
eat
be
it. I don't like
racist, brother, right now. Falafel is like proper Turkish food.
Yeah, but like there is no meat in it.
So what? You are
How-
just racist right now. Actually, falafel is like, to be honest, more Middle Eastern, but we kind of stole it.
No, I can eat it sometime, but like it's like there's no meat in it. I don't like it without meat. I want meat. All right, coming back.
That's why you are not going to hell, brother. You are going to be with Lord Jesus Christ. You are
Amen to that.
saved.
Amen to that. Quran chapter 61, verse number 11, which is the
He's my
109th.
favorite. He's my favorite person of the live stream today. Whoever you are, Bob.
Shanze Bob. I love falafel. Okay, awesome.
Put me in my loving list up there.
Chapter number 66, verse number 11. What does Allah say? You believer, you believe in Allah and His Messenger and fight in the cause of Allah. Same word, tujahidun, that you fight
وتجاهدون
in the cause of Allah with your wealth and your life. This is best for you. Only if you know. Only if you know this is best for you. Why? Because only if you do this, then you get to heaven. So
So
go and die and kill in the cause of Allah.
so people were expressing it is wrong to murder people.
Hmm.
People don't want to murder people, and then Allah steps in and then says, if only you knew the benefits of it, if only you knew the benefits of it, 72 virgins served drink by Allah, 80,000 non-bleeding boys. If you knew little bit of it, if you knew the benefit of it, but you don't know, therefore you think this is wrong.
Absolutely, absolutely. By the way, whoever thinks it can be strive here in any way or form, go read Ibn Kasir, go read Tafsir, Ibn Kasir, Qurtubi, Jalalain, Ibn Abbas. You'll see what kind of striving Allah is talking about here. By the way, sister, we have another problem here. We go
We
to
are talking about Quran and Islam. You think we have another problem? Islam
yeah,
has
we
no problem at all. Why would you say that, brother?
through that, but we have another problem yet. When will these women that Allah created, especially for the men to enjoy them with sex, I'm sorry to use that word, when will they go into their heaven? Because they are slaves of the men of Jannah. Because they are always sitting in the couches waiting for them as uruban atraba, which according to Attabaq al-Mufassirun wa Ahl al-Lugha, it is a word for whore, according to a Sayyuti. So when will they get their freedom out of this slavery of a man that they will always be ready for the sex?
Well, why do you think Allah cares about them? All Allah cares about is jihadi man and their desires. Why would Allah care about Huri's freedom? It's not only like Huri's freedom. Think about these non-bleeding boys. who will be
Oh,
serving,
yes, who
and
are
then
like pearls.
after they serve, they are not still going to bleed. So that's like another slavery, child slavery. It's child sex slavery in Islamic paradise, and Allah has no problem with that. And they are boys. And you think Allah will care about the female heavenly beings or female beings who are specially made for Jannah? Allah will care about their freedom?
Interesting question.
Brother, that's just,
I'm sorry I asked this question. I'm sorry. Let's go to jihad. All
that's
right.
okay. Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay. Don't do it
Uh,
again. Don't ask questions again.
I'm going back. Quran chapter number 5, the second last surah of the Quran by revelation, which is 112th surah. And then we see Quran chapter 5, verse number 35. O you who have believed, fear Allah and seek the means to Him and fight in the cause that you may succeed. وَجَاهِدُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. So imagine in the last 4 chapters that I've shown you, it's the same thing. If you want to be successful, fight. If you want to be successful, fight. If you want to go to Jannah, fight. If you want to go to Jannah, fight. How? With your wealth, with your life, with your wealth, with your life. Now we come to the final chapter of the Quran, chapter number 9, which is 113 chapter by revelation. Why 113? Because 114 chapter reveal while 109 while the ninth chapter was being revealed, and then it finished way earlier. So 9 chapter remained till then. And even Muhammad died and people did not know whether 9 chapter should be connected with the 8th chapter or not. And that is why some scholar says there is no Bismillah in front of 9th chapter. Some scholar, not all. Some says that Bismillah is not there because it's part of Surah Anfal. Because Surah Anfal, the 8th chapter, the chapter of how to divide the looted money. That's the meaning of Anfal, how to divide the looted money. And we have a problem. Muhammad died. Nobody knows how to fix chapter number 9. Chapter number 9 is also called Surah Barat. Barat is desolation, right? It's Barat. It is also called Surah Toba, Surah of repentance, where you gotta repent or you're gonna die. Bye bye and tata. Surah Barat, Surah 9, if we go 9:16, there are so many verses that I have to read. I don't know if I have enough time here, but let's go to 9:16 and so on and we'll read in context. Do you think that you will be left while Allah has not yet made evident those among you who fight in his cause and do not take other than Allah, his messenger, and the believers are intimate,
Intimate.
and Allah is aware of what you do. What is Allah saying? Allah is saying, do you think I leave you as is? Because the conquest of Makkah has been done, conquest of Hudaybiyah has been done. Now Muhammad has to go all the way 1200 kilometers dur to Tabuk and fight. Now these new believers, they have never fought. They just accepted Islam after the conquest of Makkah because Makkah is in his power now, and he has given so much money to other people. Now he is creating, Allah is creating, hey, I'm gonna test you. I'm gonna make you fight. I'm gonna test you and make you fight. You have not, I have not yet made evident to you whether you are true believers or not, because you haven't fought in the cause of Allah. You have not yet fought in the cause of Allah. That is why we gotta read in the context it now. Now check this out where things are happening. We'll see, we'll read 19, focus verse 19, focus verse 20, 22, 24, 41, and 44. We'll read in context. We'll skip 17. No worries, we'll read it, but I'm not gonna spend time. It is not for the polytheists to maintain the mosque of Allah, where polytheists were doing that previously, against themselves disbelievers against that. Forget that part. Coming back to next verse. The mosque of Allah are only to be maintained by those who believe in Allah and the last day and establish prayer and give zakat and do not fear except Allah is expelled, that those will be the righteous guided. Now imagine here, now you will see the prayer, zakat, fearing Allah, last day, and all of these things. Remember this verse 9:17. Why 9:17 to be remembered? Because later I will show you Allah is going to leave some people behind, that they are not supposed to go to war. They're not supposed to go to battle. So that is why This verse is important. Just keep it in your mind and I'll come back to it. Have you made providing water to pilgrimage and everything? We'll go to 20. We'll skip certain verses, no problem. And the ones who have believed, immigrated, and jihad in the cause of Allah with their wealth and their life are greater in ranks in the sight of Allah. Now imagine some people here who has not fought, who has not done anything, but they are doing works for all of the works of Allah. Last day, establish prayer, give zakat, and not fear anything except Allah. All of the things, righteous things that you have to do. Their rank is not good. Whose rank is better? The ones who go and fight in the way of Allah, do jihad fi sabilillah. The ones who have believed, immigrated, and fought in the cause of Allah, their ranks are better in the sight of Allah. And it is those people who will attain the greater success, the greater Jannah. Not you people, those people. Next verse, and then I will give the mic to sister. The Lord gives them good tidings of mercy from Him and approval, and of the gardens of them wherein is enduring pleasure. Surah Rahman has already been revealed already. What kind of pleasure? You can go and read Surah Rahman. This is what Allah is going to give them. Sister, what do you have to say?
So Islamic teachings are, you've got quite a lot of Islamic teachings are describing the punishment in grave. You've got quite a lot of Islamic teachings are describing the punishment in hell. And there is no way Allah allows you to enter the Islamic paradise without jihad. Okay, there is no way. So you are very much aware what is waiting for you, grave punishment and hell. Only way you get to pleasure, you get the gardens to have pleasure is you kill in the name of Allah, get killed in the name of Allah. You strive with your wealth, you do jihad with your wealth and with your life. Okay? So therefore, it becomes very attractive for someone when they know what is waiting for them, graveyard, grave punishment and hell punishment. It is very attractive for them to use their wealth and use their life, whatever they can, so that they can granted these gardens. So that shouldn't kind of surprise us why young girls in Britain left the country to go fight, go become wife for jihadis in Syria under ISIS, for ISIS fighters. Because they know what is waiting for them. Therefore, they don't want to go to hell. They want to skip that grave punishment. They want to get to paradise with gardens and all this pleasure thing. So they are willing to go and become wife to jihadis. Muslims are very much aware what is going to happen to them with the grave punishment and with hell. Therefore, they are willing to go and murder kids, go and murder people who are not Muslims, as well as people who identify themselves Muslim, but under them they are hypocrites. Why? Because it is very attractive. These lies Allah puts forward, it is very attractive for Muslims to do jihad with their life and with their wealth. I have seen fathers who are willing to sell their daughter to jihadis or these so-called fighters so that it might help them to get into gardens, these gardens with all these virgins and then all these non-believing boys. Why? Because what is in the other side is very scary and they don't want to get there. They can do anything and everything to meet with the criteria of Allah to get into these gardens. That's how it is. It is very disturbing, but this is something where Muslims put their all of their hope. So they might turn up there and then it might be all grapes. They might turn up there and then it turned up actually nope. There is nothing like that at all. It was all waste of life, waste of their loved ones, or even waste of their wealth. But that's what Allah is saying. So therefore, it is actually like really very attractive to even meet with like individuals who just become a Muslim, that they are willing to do jihad because they don't want to go through the grave punishment and hell. It's not shahid. No. That's the label, they work under it. That's the label, they work under it. But no, that's just committing suicide. That's just murdering. And Allah is not just enough to deal with those people. Allah wants the blood. It's like this Dracula who wants to suck the blood of humans. That's what Allah is asking Muslims to do. And there are many of them are willing to do it. Why? So that they can skip the grave punishment as well as they can skip hell punishment. Therefore, it is just making sense to me as Adam is pointing out these Quranic verses. All I am thinking is, yeah, there are individuals who believe these things. Therefore, they go and murder. Therefore, they go and harm others. That's what it is, brother. Attractive to people who don't know who real God is. Attractive to people who don't know what is real worship is. Therefore, they want to feed this vampire god who wants to suck their blood.
Absolutely. And to give validity to your words, this is a Da'if hadith, by the way. My reading is so bad now, I can't even read Sahih because every time when I show something, it becomes Da'if. It says, whoever dies without having fought or thought of fighting, he dies on one of the branch of hypocrisy.
That means he gets to go through this great punishment,
Yep.
and then stays in hell. And
Check this
hell
out.
is not nice place. No biryani, no shawarma, no falafel, no ice cream.
There's no jihad here. You see that? No word jihad here. وَمَنْ مَعْتَى وَلَمْ يُغْفِرْ وَلَمْ يُحَدِّثُ نَفْسَهُ. No jihad, but it is in the chapter of jihad. Stern warning against forsaking jihad. Stern warning. Shadeed warning. Fi tarku jihad. If you leave jihad, what is going to happen? You'll die as hypocrite. You'll die as hypocrite. You cannot leave jihad. And there's nothing striving. No jihad is mentioned here. So the people who say, we are not supposed to do jihad. Jihad is internal fight. Your Muhammad disagrees. Islamic scholars disagrees. Hadith disagrees. Quran disagrees. Only the deceptive translations make it deceptive. Otherwise, look at the chapter name. Tarkut jihad, forsaking jihad. What did Muhammad said? If you try to forsake jihad, if you don't fight, or if you do not have to fight, then you have to think about fighting. And if you haven't even thought about fighting for the sake of Allah, you'll die as hypocrite, as munafiq, as hypocrite. Burn in hell forever and ever. So
Other thing is just if you don't die, remember there are Muslims who were told to murder the hypocrites. So
yeah,
you might not go too long anyway.
that's what they do. This is Sunnah of Muhammad. Allah said that. Allah said that in the Quran, not in the Hadith, in the Quran. Chapter number 49, verse number 15. To Muhammad. What can I do? Anyhow, let's go back to Quran. 9:24. We read till 20. Let's read 24. Now, say, O Muhammad, say to the people, what are you saying? Going to say, if your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your wives, your relatives, your wealth, which you have obtained, commerce wherein you fear decline and dwellings with which you are pleased, are more beloved to you than Allah and His Messenger and jihad. Three things are more beloved to you than Allah and His Messenger and jihad in His cause. Then wait until Allah executes His command and put you in hell. And Allah does not guide the defiant, disobedient people. So if you do not do jihad for the sake of Allah with your life and your wealth, you are a definitely disobedient. I'm not saying that. Quran is saying that. I'm not saying that. That's Quran. Don't believe me, believe Quran. I know I'm a little, hyperactive when I'm saying these things. But this is what it is. Let's read 9:41 to 45. 41, 41 and 44 are the verses that we are going to focus on. So 41. Go forth, whether light or heavy. What is light or heavy? Now people are going towards Tabuk. I already explained it to you. Tabuk. Whether lightweight or heavyweight. And strive with your wealth and your lives in the cause of Allah. That is better for you if you only know. People were saying, yeah, Muhammad, it's too hot. We'll travel in desert 1200 kilometers. There's no apparent danger from them. Why? No. Go lightweight then. Don't carry too much if it is too hot.
So
Go lightweight.
whatever you have, whatever you can bring, take it with you until
You
your
die.
life is done. Until your life is done. That's what you've got to do.
Exactly. Then, had it been near, not easy, near, because the reference is going all the way to Tabuk, gain and moderate trip, they would have followed you. Allah is saying to Muhammad, if it was close by, they would have followed you. But distance to them was journey. And they will swear by Allah, if we were able, we would have gone forth with you, destroying themselves. And Allah knows intended that they are liar. They are destroying themselves by not going with you too far. Next, Allah has pardoned you, O Muhammad. Why did you give them permission to remain behind? Because Muhammad gave permission to some of the people to remain behind. Okay, yeah, right, okay, don't go. Why did you pardon them? Until it was evident to you who were truthful and you knew. So Muhammad, you don't know who's the liar and who's the truthful person. Why have you pardoned them? Why have you not distinguished whether he's telling the truth or lie? Next verse.
So you brought into our attention that jihad must be done by Muslims. For them to be true believer, they must believe in Allah, His Messenger, and then they need to do jihad.
Yes.
And now in here, see, this is the God I love. Okay, I just love this Allah. Muhammad just messed up. Muhammad just messed up. Okay. Conditions for true believer is you've got to do jihad. And Allah just noticed Muhammad messed up. Muhammad kept people behind. And then Allah, this is like his heart is so good. I pardon you. It's okay, Muhammad. Yeah, you didn't want them to be true believer and then get into paradise, but it's okay. I am here to help. Why? You wouldn't know who were the true, who were the liars, who were the hypocrites. Of course, I am God. I know those things. It's fine. Please, don't burden yourself. Don't cause any anxiety or stress to yourself because you just made some people, not even one, some people to be identified as hypocrites because you stopped them. They wanted to do jihad. You kept them back. But it's okay, Muhammad. I forgive you. Yeah, I like this God. He's there to just like be Muhammad's comfort blanket, teddy bear. He's just there to like make sure Muhammad feels okay, you know?
Yeah. The last verse is very 44. Like I said, 42 and 44 we need to focus on. Those who believe in Allah and the last day would not ask permission of you, Ya Muhammad, to be excused from jihad with their wealth and their life. And Allah is knowing of all of those. So whoever asked you excuse Muhammad, they never loved you. They never loved Allah. They are always hypocrites. They are not true believers. Hey, Faizan, you have never even read Quran. Look, you said those were true believers. Those were true people. Faizan, read the Quran. I know wherever I go, you follow me. I don't know why. What have I done with you? But
It's love jihad, brother.
read.
It's his love jihad, so he's practicing on you.
All right, all right. Love jihad. Okay. Then 45. Only those would ask permission of you who do not believe in Allah and the last days, whose hearts have doubt, and they in their doubt are hesitating. This is what Allah is saying. Two verses of jihad and rest of the context. I wanted to show the context so that nobody will say that I'm using out of the context verses. Yes, sister, before I go to the next passage.
No, I'm just like thinking now how Allah is like stepping in and justifying Muhammad's mistakes, you know?
My poor little prophet, right?
Yeah.
Quran
Oh,
973, one of my favorite verse. This verse was already there in chapter number 44. It says, Ya ayyuhalladhina jahadul kuffara wal munafiqeen. O Prophet, fight against the disbelievers and the hypocrites and be harsh upon them, and their refuge is hell, and wretched is their destination. Same verse. You have seen that already in the previous verse of the Quran, chapter 44. Now, it is same written again in 973. Let's go to 981 to 85. Very important passage, 81 to 85. Let me open that now. Very, very important. Why? You'll see that. Check this out. Those who remained behind rejoiced in their staying at home after the departure of Muhammad to the jihad, and disliked to do jihad with their wealth and their life in the cause of Allah, and said, do not go, it's too hot. Say to them, O Muhammad, the hellfire is hotter than this world's heat, if they would understand.
yeah. See, that's how you blackmail people. Okay, everyone, you need to give attention, okay? There are times that you need to blackmail people. So Allah is the best example. Like he's so good with Muhammad. Of course, you can't separate them. They are so good to teach you how to blackmail people, okay? It's too hot. I really can't do anything. I can't go to war, murder people. Well, it's up to you. If you don't want to come, then don't come. Just remember, if you think this is too hot, just remember hell. You know what I mean? That place, like you are gonna get cooked again and again and again. You wish you were here, but nope. It will be too late now. Remember the hell, and then people just like, of course we will come. Of course we will come. It's not like, oh, they are missing the shawarma in hell. They are missing the baklava or falafel or ice cream in hell. No, no. They are not. They don't want to go to hell because hell is going to be too hot. It's not like 105 degree at night. Not like that. And not in Africa. Like Africa is like probably so good comparing the hell. You don't want to go to war because it's hot. Nope, can't do anything about it. Just think about the hell and then we will come.
You'll have more cooking there. Let's read the context all the way to 85. I love, like, the focus verses are 81 and 84. So we did 81. Let's do 82. So let them laugh a little and let them have fun a little, and then they will weep much as recompense of what they have earned here by not going to jihad.
Another example for blackmailing. Learn it, people. Learn it and use it.
If Allah should return you to a fraction of them, and then they ask your permission to go out for battle, say, you will not go out with me ever, and you will never fight with me, an enemy. Indeed, you were satisfied with sitting at home the first time. So sit now with those who stay behind. So basically, the fifth grader and the daddy kind of a situation. The fifth grader, when he doesn't want to go something and make excuses, and the daddy is explaining, and the fifth grader is not accepting it. And then finally, okay, daddy, I'll go. And daddy, no, you stay now. You stay behind. Now I'm going. You're not going.
Yep. Allah and His Messenger are professional. Professional what?
Manipulators.
Blackmailers. They are
Manipulators.
professional blackmailers.
Next verse. 84. Focus verse. And now it is saying to Muhammad, O you Muhammad, do not even pray the funeral prayer for these people over them who has died, not as a martyr now, as a normal person, ever, or even stand in his grave. Indeed, they disbelieved in Allah and His Messenger and died while they were definitely disobedient. Who are definitely disobedient? The one who does not go and fight in the cause of Allah. The ones who stays behind. Do not fight. Allah is saying to Muhammad, oh Muhammad, don't even stand in their graves, at their graves. Don't even pray the funeral prayer for them.
So
So imagine, sister, when the Muslims come in and say to me, hey, Adam, we are true believers, we're true Muslim. We don't fight, we don't have to fight. Such a lie. Islam doesn't talk about fighting. All of these verses is jihad, 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 jihad. And then Muhammad, the ones who did not go with you to jihad, go with you to jihad. Imagine, why is striving here? Go with you to jihad. Don't even offer prayer for them. Don't funeral. They are good believers. They are good believers. If you read the tafsir, these are good believers. They offer prayer. They do zakat. They do fasting. They do every other thing. They just do not want to go 1200 kilometers far to fight.
think about it. When someone dies, doesn't matter how much you hate that person, doesn't matter how much you love that person, once you get the invitation for the funeral, kind of you feel it is obligated to go there. It is one of your last duties. Okay, you go and deal with this dead person in the funeral. Like in Islam, like for example, I've got like funeral tomorrow. I know people who are attending that funeral who hasn't been spoken to this gentleman for years, but they will still come to the funeral because that's what their last kind of something they do. Okay, like it's important for you to be in someone's funeral, someone's goodbye thing. So in here, in Islam, you go to the funeral. Remember, like some of you, I'm sure, like those of you who've been to the funerals, one of the prayer they say in the funeral, if the man is dead, they say like, oh, give him better wife than he had here. Give him better kids than he had here. Like you don't want, of course, be in such a place, but this is how it is. So in here, Allah is simply telling, with of course, with his help, with Muhammad, you can't even practice your last rites to someone who is just dead. You can't even go and do janazah prayer for them, funeral prayer for them. You can't even do prayer for them, attend their funerals. Why? Because they choose to stay at home and then not come to the war, come to the jihad with you. Allah is like blocking people's very basic, like last compassion or last rights for them to attend the funerals. Very kind of not very kind. Not very kind.
I'm sorry. That's what Allah is. 85th verse. And let not their wealth and their children impress you. Whose wealth and their children? The ones who stayed behind. Allah only intends to punish them through them in this world, and that their souls should depart while they are disbelievers. Now, dude, like seriously speaking, like what is Allah trying to say? If they have good wealth and they have good children, doesn't matter. If they're doing everything according to Islam, doesn't matter. Don't get deceived of them, because they are not going to jihad with you. Allah is going to punish them when their soul will depart from this world. From this world. Like this is such Such a cunning type of a person talking about these kind of things. I would never have thought about it that Allah will do such stupidity. Now 86 to 80, 88, we're gonna skip. Let's not skip. Read 86. 86 and 88 are the key verses. The rest are contextual. 86, the verse jihad. And when a surah was revealed to believe in Allah and to fight with His messenger, I don't know why, once again, now the same word jihad is fight instead of strive. So you'll see, Sahih International always does this. When a surah was revealed to believe in Allah and to fight with His messenger, those of wealth among them asked your permission to stay back and said, leave us to be with them who sit at home. Then they were satisfied to be with those who stayed behind, and their hearts were sealed over, so they do not understand. But the messenger and those who believed with him fought with their wealth and their lives, not only just wealth. So you have to do both. Those who have good, it is those who are the successors or successful. 89 is the contextual verses with 88. Allah has prepared for them gardens beneath which rivers flow, wherein they abide eternally. That is great attainment. Two verses of jihad, 86 and 88. 86 and 88. Fought with their wealth and with their life, and the rest are contextual verses. What are you going to say, sister, on this one?
Well, you've got to fight. You've got to fight in the name of Allah, and not only like with your life, but with everything. Otherwise, Allah is just speaking to your emotions, and it's very painful to just read it. Let alone there are people who are believing in it.
Unfortunately. Sister, I have like 8 more verses to play. Can we go over 2 hours 30 minutes?
Yeah, that's fine, brother.
All right, thank you.
It's already Thursday. My beauty time sleep is already gone, but I don't have Allah who blackmails me, so it's fine.
I'm sorry about that. So
No,
let's read. Now the key verses are 90 to 92. This is all about the gardens we read. 90. And those with excess amount among those with excuse among the Badawans came to be permitted to remain behind. And they who had lied to Allah and His Messenger sat at home. They will strike those who disbelieved among them a painful punishment. This is the Muslims. Same thing repeated. There is not upon the weak or upon the ill or upon those who do not find anything to spend any discomfort. Okay? When they are sincere to Allah and His Messenger, there is not upon the doers of good any cause, and Allah is forgiving and merciful. Who? They are weak, ill, and who does not have anything to spend. That is fine. If you have nothing to spend, don't fight only with your life, not with your wealth. If you are ill, don't fight with your life. If you are weak, don't fight with your life. You are weak means too old. That Allah will forgive you. Okay, otherwise not. 92. Nor upon those who, when they came to you for you to take them along, you said, I can find nothing upon which to carry you. So if there are people who came, but Muhammad didn't have enough space to take them, they turned back with their eyes overflowed with tears. Oh, we can't go and fight it. We can't go and kill.
I can't go to war. Yeah.
That they could not find something to spend for the cause of Allah with their life.
That's so sad.
And then 93. The cause is or blame is upon those who ask permission of you while they are rich. They are satisfied to be with those who stay behind, and Allah has sealed their hearts. Full stop and bye bye and tata. Now, I have said in Surah Tawbah, Allah finally gives permission. Now, this is when Tabuk is done and everything is done. Allah finally gives permission for certain people to stay behind when the battles are now very clear and clearly distinguished, and it is now everywhere. So once the book is done, all of these manipulation and blackmailing is done. The verse number 122 comes up, and there Allah describes, which now applies. Now, why it applies? That is why jihad is not called fardul ain. It is called fardul kafaya. And I'm going to explain these two terms a little later. Check this out. And it is not for the believers to go forth to the battle all at once, for there should separate from every division of them a group to obtain understanding in the religion and warn their people when they return to them, that they might be cautious. So now you have to let certain people stay behind. Now you are in power. You are so much in power that Muhammad does not need everyone to go with him to the battles, because now the battle does not require so many people. Tabuk has been done, other surayas has been done. Muhammad has sent multiple people to different surayas, to the fringes of Oman, to the fringes of Iran, to the fringes of Rome, and these surayas are now happening. And Muhammad has so many people now. Now Muhammad's Allah is saying that everybody is not supposed to go. Why? Because there are still people behind. Because Surah Anfal is talking about the money that you get from the battle, the loot, the money of the loot from battle. That money is distributed among the who? The ones who fight those battles. 20% for Muhammad, 84% for the people who fight in these battles. So hence the people wants to go and fight. They are new believers coming in. They want to fight. They are like the fighter and killing machines. And Muhammad saying, no. First, go learn the Islam. And scholars, hey scholar, you learn. No, wait, you can't go. Hey Muhammad, I want to go. I want to get money. No. You go. You teach them. You teach them. You have to teach them. The new believers. I need more forces. I need more forces. I need people to teach. This is why the terminology came up. Before this, all the way till chapter number 9, verse number 80, jihad was fardh ain unless you are low in you are ill or sick or too old or doesn't have money. But now the fardh ain become fardh kafaya, means if some people could do it, it is done by everyone. So now here is the theme. Certain people has to stay behind. They have to teach the new believers. They have to train the new believers to do what? To do jihad. To do jihad. You have to train people, teach people to do what? To do jihad. The Fardh Ain and Fardh Kafaya. This is the verse that's distinguished. All the verses of jihad that you have seen so far, none of them gives exception except this verse. Otherwise, if this verse was not there in the Quran, jihad fighting would have become fardul ain, and this particular theology and ideology would have become much more vampirous and a killing machine than it is now, because of this verse. But this verse also makes it much more hypocritical when these people are talking to non-Muslim, because non-Muslims have no idea what they are talking about, and they will going to say, hey, it's not a fardh ain, it's a fardh kafaya. You don't know what the fardh kafaya is. And this is the reality of it in essence. This is how Muhammad played the game in the Quran. And that played game is now manipulated by the scholars, because they have Adbul Dajjal and Ilmul Hayal, which are the terminology they use to deceive the non-Muslims, because they can and they want to and they have to, so that they could bring more and more people into Islam, and then they teach these Muslims about Islam, and then these Muslims will go up and fight. That's the reason why right now not everyone does the fighting. Otherwise, everyone should have been fighting. So now, after reading all of this, what do you think? Right now, I haven't even discussed the verses of the Qatal. Jihad and Qatal is mentioned interchangeably. So when we read the tafsirs of these verses, you will get the references of the verses of Qatal. And what are the verses of Qatal? I'm going to talk about it, but not today. Sister, your last point.
Um, so it's the type of it's how you fight. Okay. So uh, sometimes you just want to put all of your cards at once on the table and then say, okay, this is all I have, let's go for it. But in here, Allah is simply saying, okay, we can't shove all of our guns at once. We can't put all of our cards on the table at once. Little bit. If that doesn't work, we shove the first one, we practice the first part, didn't work, let's have the second round. Let's have the third round. And that's exactly like, as I'm just like focusing on the part, like don't go at once. I'm just like, I'm just being reminded what Hamas is doing. Every time they enter, like every time when they want to murder, they just like started little bit, rest it, pull their people together again, and then did it again. Break the forgot the term. They come out, they took rest, kind of pull themselves together, and then they did it again. And then same, Muslims are coming after non-Muslims. First they send only their one person, and then if it doesn't work, 10 years they send a family. That didn't work, they send whole tribe. So they will come until they fulfill the Allah's promises, until they get rid of all non-Muslims and all hypocrites. That's how it is. In here, Allah is giving the tips like, don't go to the war once, take time, and then take time, and then shove your guns slowly and slowly. Be cautious about it.
Right on spot, sister. So let me give all the verses that we have learned today in a summary today. 3 verses where Muslim scholars have contradiction, whether it is pure jihad or the jihad, because it is before the migration. Chapter number 25, verse number 52, chapter number 16, verse number 110, chapter number 29, verse number 69. After that, all of these verses that we have studied so far today, they are talk about jihad, which is all about fighting. And I've shown it with the context and proved it. If you do not believe me, go read Tafsir ibn Kasir, Tafsir al-Qurtubi, and you will know. Quran chapter number 2, verse number 218, Quran chapter number 8, verse number 72 to 75, all the way to 75. 74 is also a key verse in it. Chapter number 3, verse number 142, chapter number 60, verse number 1, chapter number 4, verse number 95, chapter number 47, verse number 31, chapter number 22, verse number 77 to 78, chapter number 49, verse number 15, chapter number 66, verse number 9, chapter number 61, verse number 11, chapter number 5, verse number 35, chapter number 9, verse number 16, 19, 20 to 22, 24, 41, 44, 42 is also a key verse, 44, 73, 81, 84, 86 to 88, 87, 90 to 92, and then finally come the verse on screen, 112. These are the verses of jihad. When we go and study these verses of jihad in the context by the tafsir of Qurtubi, Ibn Kasir, and At-Tabari, you will see that these verses are correlating with the verses of Qatal and Harb, which are as follows. Chapter number 6, verse number 151, chapter number 17, verse number 33, chapter number 25, verse number 68, chapter number 18, verse number 74 to 75, and chapter number 18, verse number 80 to 81. Chapter number 2, verse number 190, 191, 193, 216 to 217. Chapter number 8, verse number 12 to 14, 15, 16, 38, 39, 65, 66, 67. Chapter number 3, verse number 111, 146, 151, 156, 157, 158, 167 to 169, 195. Chapter number 33, verse number 13 to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. Chapter number 4, verse number 74 to 77. Chapter number 57, verse number 10, 11. Chapter number 47, verse number 4, 6. Chapter number 59, verse number 11, 14. Chapter number 22, verse number 39 and 58. Chapter number 48, verse number 16 to 21. Chapter number 5, verse number 33, 34. Chapter number 9, verse number 1 to 7, 12 to 19, 20 to 23, 24, 28 to 29, 78 to all the way to 123. Focus verses 111, 113, 120, 121, 123, and 84. These are the verses that once you will read these verses of jihad that I have shown to you today in the tafsir, you will see that the Islamic scholars connect them with these verses that I have given you right now. All of these verses that I've given you later are the verses of qital and harb in Islam. And you will see that the word jihad is interchangeably mentioned in the Quran. For jihad, the verses of jihad are talking about the verses of qital, and the verses of qital are talking about the verses of jihad. This is how Quran is revealed. 147 verses talks about how to kill, why to kill, and if you do not kill, you will be put to hell. And the only people who kill and die in the cause of Allah are going to go into real heaven, so called real heaven, where you will have eternal sexual pleasure with multiple women and young boys serving you. If this is heaven, then I do not know what a brothel is. Sister, mic is yours.
Well, thank you very much for showing us that Allah, as the God who is communicating to Muhammad through his angel, is pretty good communicator when it comes to jihad. He might be a good communicator, but his teachings are very, very dangerous for Muslims as well as for non-Muslims. That's something we need to keep in our mind. We need to keep in our mind because effects is already circulating on us. We are already living under the effect of that. I think we will stop here. Is that okay with you, brother? And then
Yes, sister. Yes,
we
yes.
pick up next week to see how Allah is going to blackmail us. See how Allah is going to blackmail his followers. And
Absolutely. There's a
and
lot more blackmailing happening in the verses of the war in Islam, which are correlated according to tafsir with the verses of jihad. Oh my God, those are so beautiful. You love them as well.
yeah, of course, I love that. I love like how Allah feels for Muhammad. That's like my main kind of focus. You know, Allah's heart breaks for Muhammad when he kind of lives the who wants to be true believers at home stuff. You can't just ignore him. He's just like so awesome, so awesome. He's just so
Ah,
awesome.
you so love Allah. I gotta fight with you now.
Islam has quite a lot of followers. Not only followers of Islam, also these groups who are coming alongside of Islam, woke and left, all that, putting the world in danger. And it is shame that everyone misunderstands Allah beside the true followers of Islam. And they will come after those who are kind of coming alongside of these deceivers as well. Verses on the other side, we are kind of reminded once again, the world is desperately need peace. The world desperately needs understanding. The world desperately needs change and transformed. And that can happen only by the Prince of Peace, Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Once individuals have peace with God, and that peace comes to us only when the Son of God nailed himself on that cross and expressed he loves us from everlasting to everlasting, repent and turn to him. That's the only way we can have peace with him. By default, we will have peace with one another. Anyone who doesn't have peace with God will not have peace with one another. Anyone who doesn't have peace with true God will not have peace with one another. Doesn't matter how many virgins are being offered. Doesn't matter how many non-bleeding boys are being offered. Still, there is a problem. You need to have that peace with God, and that's only through His eternal Son. So you've got to deal with that. And sadly, big chunk of the world seems that they misunderstood or misinterpreted this magical word jihad, these magical teachings of Allah. Hopefully, Adam Sika was kind of able to clarify a little bit of it. Of course, if it goes to the blind, deaf ears, like you can't force anything. So information is out there for anyone who think Islam is the most misunderstood religion. They can simply watch this live stream and then see how Allah is trying to communicate with His people. Such a shame. It is the job of Christians or ex-Muslims to step in and clarify these misunderstanding or Allah's miscommunications. I see that as a heartbreaking, but I really appreciate your input, taking time and teaching us, and helping us to kind of make sure Quran is our focus, and reminding us there are individuals who are following these teachings. That means we are in danger. Not good, not good.
Absolutely, sister. Thank you so very much for allowing me the time to come and speak over here on this channel. Appreciate it. God bless you and God bless everyone. And guys, please do like and share. This is your duty. Our duty is to give you the data and information. Your duty is to share and like the video so that a lot of people could receive it.
I can't believe you are asking people to do jihad. Not
Yes, I am.
good.
They are talking about jihad, so they have to do jihad, right?
Yeah. Next week, same time, 10 o'clock, we will see you here. I think in 15 or 10 minutes, there should be Robert Spencer on This Week in Jihad. So check Jihad Watch videos. And if you missed anything, I'm sure he will fill you in. He will fill you in.
Awesome, Robert Spencer. Give my regards to him as well. And I'll get him on my channel if he has time as well. Thank you and take care, guys. Take care, Hatun. Before we go, I have to shout.
Go for it, brother.
Yeshua Akbarul Azim. Have a blessed day, evening, or night, wherever you are. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, brother. And thank you very much, everyone who joined us in the chat. By God's grace, we will see you again. Until we see you, may Christ crucified silent with His love. God bless you all.